ones, but go, team, go. Isn't a flame. He's like the European BSJ. He has a big viewer base, and BSJ has played. I mean, when he was on Exodus or Enemy GG, he played well. I think Cancel's a little bit above him now, but they're both the same. He kind of has an on-screen personality, you know, dance with pants off, whatever he wants to do. I don't think he's done that, but you know what I'm getting at.
That makes a lot of sense. I can hear that.
Because I've danced my pants off, yeah. So I know that. I know how that goes.
Absolutely. MP right into Mirana here. Looks like it's ND Mirana, possibly.
Could be.
I mean, it's not looking like anything else unless it's some sort of safe lane farmer. You already got your Ogre and what looks like your MSS Timbersaw. So, it's a standard. I'll pick when you really want to keep things in big,
you know. Like you don't see many.
He's been a top tier jungler through Han, and
He was the
you know,
top tier jungler. Like, he carried that team from his jungling. So this is going to be it. I'm excited. And he has the good helmet, the rampant outpager. I don't even know.
Well, that's what matters.
Yes. I mean, it is an Aoi Naga, but they have Ember, Axe, Darkseer all versus. They have the cleave from Kunkka as well. They have decent to Naga. Of course, Naga, I mean, not the most counterable hero. You kill illusions, but she's still pushing you. Well, Mirana. Eternal Envy Mirana. This is going to be the matchup to watch for sure.
Sorry, someone like totally jacked up my hotkeys.
Wasn't me,
Grant,
right?
probably. I don't know. No, it wasn't you. You were on your account. It was
Yeah.
someone who probably had to use my account in there, maybe. I don't know. It might be a bit awkward. I think I could still move the camera around. Yeah, kinda. It's just my hotkeys for like last hits and stuff.
No, you can still fix it. We still got pause time. Oh,
Yeah,
go
let's
whenever.
see.
Oh, don't worry. I don't mess up anything. I literally
And
Dota.
suddenly it's
I
on
load
fast.
it.
What is it going on? Oh my goodness. It is all out of whack.
Me, I'm a low Dota guy up and play it. I change nothing.
Might have to just jump on the keyboard. We'll see. Fine, we got a pause still, right?
Yep, we have goes coming. You have about 10 seconds. Count it down.
Where is the...
The battle resumes.
Okay.
You're still good. They're just buying the items. I'll talk it through. Disruptive.
Nah, we're good. We're good. You know what? We'll do it live. Fuck it.
All right, sounds good to me. Oh, and look at the middle Kunkka build. Stout shield, 1 gauntlets, 2 ironwood branches, be it 2 tankos. That is build.
Is the build.
Apparently. I don't know. I don't play the hero.
Oh my god.
Are you on the struggle life right now?
Yeah, I am.
Insult my camera. This is what
Camera
you...
jumps so much. And like, it keeps triggering the like toggle auto. I think I can understand where your problems were at, but we'll janky our way through the cameras right now as we see MP smoked up, man. They are on the prowl.
Yep, we saw Cole smoked up a little earlier. They just went to Ward, and they're 5-man.
To take the early initiative. Leading out the front's going to be Aoi. It's already leveled the Riptide. And they're getting close to Mr. Melons. Oh, Mr. Melons. Okay, they see him. There goes the Ignite. Looking to burn the Birdman. Where's he going to go? Arrow. That is not close.
That was nice job on Melon dodging that first blood, actually.
Okay. And he's out of trouble, and NP are not going to be able to flex their aggression this time.
And it is a safe lane Justin Ember, like we said. One of the few who even plays that. I mean, you see it middle a lot, not much safe lane anymore. I know that's one of the heroes he was known for.
The battle
I'm sure, as always, we know Embers could have
The prize is mine.
a slow start if punished early on. And his laning matchup right now will feature an Ogre looking to get in his face. In fact, what looks like a pretty much full aggro lane coming out from MP. This could be a rough time for Justin if he doesn't get some assistance or they make some sort of change.
Yep. And we actually see Skyrath's just going to be middle. He's going to be throwing arcane bolts at Eternal Envy Mirana, trying to make sure he has a terrible time too.
That is the worst. Mid lane, Skyrath Mage. What a douche. Finds in, bolts plenty. He might even do the full BS route and just like deny himself. Envy is able to kind of take advantage, arrows the side creep to get a little bit of money his way, but Mel's doing everything in his power to really be annoying here.
I think nautical.
And I love, Cancel not using the Tidebringer to last hit more to just get denied because it doesn't put it on cooldown, but you still get the damage. Those weird things in Dota.
You get to deny and hit Envy with the Tide, that'd be...
That'd actually just be probably broken there. Skyrath does his thing, like we said. Now the Ogre moves in, he's like, alright, well, Justin's already getting handled top, I'll just move middle. Actually, Pink's gonna go top, probably with that health pot, I assume. They'll use his zone.
Alright, hands that one off. Swindle made his mark in the mid lane, and as you mentioned, we'll be able to assist Justin here, who will need the assistance. AG tuned to look to put him in check when possible on the Disruptor. Still needs the levels if he wants to get any sort of kill potential with the benefit of the glimpse. Now we have Ogre in the mid lane to bully back Cancel so that Envy can kind of make up for the slower start.
We actually see Z-Freak decide to go aggro jungle. He'll be level 3 still. He's doing decent. He knew the aggro trial was coming, so he's like, well, I'm just going to go bottom, and then they can't really punish me.
Very true. He's there. Obviously, MSS is not looking to depart from his lane, so short-handed and being able to roam on through. We'll have to see if maybe the Ogre is going to want to venture that way and put up a bit of a stink here. Now gets caught up with a torrent as Cancel will be able to snag up the arcane rune. So that's when Ogre begins to head down south. Z-Freak, yeah, he's popping out from behind the tower. They're looking to make a jump. They hand off the Iron Shell. Where's MSS looking to go? He's got a Timber Chain and will head up towards his comrade where we have Steve nearby. And here comes the Ignite. Z-Freak in trouble. He's got the Iron Shell. Pops out the call. The spin's coming. They're pretty good, but not enough to get the finish. Now they kite and split apart. And they will just see if they can find an opportunity to poke at him, but they're melee, Grant.
They're scared.
They have Timber Chain.
Iron Shell too.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the Iron Shell to go off, but now he's got the creeps by his side. He's able to sidestep the Timber Chain. Very awkward positioning, but here comes Moo with his own Iron Shell. Hands a couple off, doesn't go for the call, fakes it once, goes back, gets it there. Should get the kill. MSS looking to go in. Can he get some spins? No spins. Iron Shell burn damage is still, though, and allows Moo to clean up the rest. It's a 1 for trade on the way of complaint.
Oh, man, that just shows how smart Z-Freak is. He just runs away to the creeps. It's funny how the enemy team creeps are like his savior in the game.
Yep.
And he did not get that many spins. If he should have gotten 1 or 2 more spins. That would have been an easy double kill, but he dies and they get a top, it looks like.
Yep, easily ran down just as the business finished on the bottom lane.
Swindle as well.
Did a nice job rotating up here to the top and was able to kind of some assistance, make an impact, and fortunately Justin will get dropped, which kind of means all the pressure on the bottom lane gets equaled out a bit as MP are getting just as much going for them in their aggro lane setup. Justin is here one moment, gone the next. Back to the base and to the walk of shame for you, sir.
That is... Your Versa Disruptor, that's a mistake you can't really make, especially in a game like this. You're 2 of the favorites. You want to see who's doing that, and that's rough. He loses almost 2 full waves because of that.
Just the most gratifying feeling with the Disruptor. You just, 350 gold, see you later.
Love Z-Freak. Still not scared to drop the Tranquils in the enemy team's jungle. He's like, whatever.
The man of efficiency and making sure he gets the absolute best possible results given the circumstance he's in. Now get the Iron Shell and we'll be able to cut down the wave, and this will neuter success in the farm department a bit. He's able to get himself to level 5, but I mean, Z-Freak is just about there, and he's been working in the jungle and pretty much the whole time.
I think the biggest thing, though, is cutting creeps versus doesn't do much. With max reactive armor, he's kind of fine, and if the creeps are dead, you're not going to spin that much. Like,
thank goodness it's a Timber Saw. I mean, if this was anything else,
he was being lost. Last in the town we see, shadows go under. Don't really know why.
There's an approach to the top lane from the Disruptor here, but that's not to make a gank, I don't think, unless it's for him to get in there and get a ward down. Not too sure. Unless Moonlight Shadow will conclude. He gets back to the grind to farm. He's suddenly at the top of the CS right now, 27-8 to Cancel's 24-6. So he's making a bit of recovery now. Cancel has a DD rune in his pocket. Some bracers. Looks like potentially drums in the near future. You know, we don't get to see the mid lane Kunkka very often, so I'm curious to see what the item progression is going to be.
Like, well, who knows? Looks like Magic won next with that next circlet, so nothing huge. Probably usually phase boost, get that extra damage, and then at that point it's yours to choose. He's farming decently, like you said, 30-7 versus 33-8, so both mid laners doing their thing.
Okay, they saw Envy. Cancel was hoping to swing around the trees and maybe set something up with the X. And Z-Freak says, maybe if we hang around, we can get the catch. And
he's going for bottom rune, though.
And Z-Freak is running parallel to him. Nice dodge of the Torrent. And he will be able to rendezvous with Teban here. But there's another coming on in. This Moo, it's a 3-on-2 now. And they're looking to rush on in. Envy frantically going for the TP. Great stunt from Teban means that Z-Freak cannot get close enough for the call. Envy will be able to make it away. And there goes Rose. Heading on south, looking to make his way out. Very upset about it. They surged in to get closer. Then they decide to turn tail and look to go for MSS. Nice call, connection, and he's going to get chopped on down. Complexity quenched their bloodthirst, able to get one. They're looking for more. The boat comes crashing forward. Now looking to mitigate a lot of the damage that's not even there because look at Steven. He just creeps out the other side and he's running on up and above. Long, wild goose chase here for the fatty. I don't think they're going to get him. Look at this. Oh,
they're eventually finally going to get him, but that is taste created, I believe, is what it is.
Right on back, and there'll be a call ready. That will be the end of it finally. Complexity will be able to quench another couple of kills and pull ahead 4-3.
Only problem at the beginning of that fight, Justin actually died top, so he is, I mean, he's like kind of their fallback guy, and you're not going to be falling back onto this guy. He's barely level 5, and his Naga is almost level 7.
Not much good's happening.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is going to be a lot on the shoulders of Z-Freak's Axe, Cancel as well, somehow making a huge mid-game impact here and relieving a lot of stress from Justin to make a recovery. I don't know if they're going to get that kind of a time here. It looks like MP are already on the move here.
They want to fight bottom, and looks like Complexity knows that. Melon's actually a good ward spotting people.
They get the slow off. No call's been made yet. They're looking for Z-Freak. They'll connect with the blast. It slows him down. Here comes the boat and the torrent. The song was there, but the crash connects. A lot of damage. On for Steven. Going to be forcing him back. And now here comes Emmett. We're going to jump on forward. Going to get the blast off finish for Moo. Yes, he will. Moo goes down. Now back with Cancel. Cancel running on out here. Torrent. TP. But they got the glimpse. They'll fall back on inside, and they will be able to slash them apart as MSS will hear that one. 3 go down on the side of Complexity. MP lose nobody. Pull ahead 6-4.
Yeah, now it's all on a perfect sleep by Owie rotating from the top, because that torrent boat hit on 2 of them. And the Iron Shell was chipping them. If they were just doing a little more damage, they would have got easy 2 kills, but perfect sleep rotation from all 5 of Complexity. And obviously Justin can't rotate. He's just barely hit level 6. He has nothing.
He's happy right now because this is the only space he's had in this lane all game. So he's like, I'm sorry it's going so grim for you guys down there, but I need this right now. I need it bad. So he'll take whatever farm he can. He even gets a gracious bounty rune at the top lane because the recovery will continue. Cole waiting for the next power peak here as Melons has reached his level 6. So now you have Mystic Flare. So we got the Bash brothers in Z-Freak and Wendell Grant. Calls and Mystic Flares.
Call the Mystic Flare, one of the combos you got to hit. That's a free kill on almost anyone.
Put an Iron Shell on top of it maybe, and you know, you're going to have a party. So they have a good 4-man squad.
They do.
Complexity.
And obviously the Emperor, once he gets Boots of Trout, can make it 5. He's not the best, but he can always TP around, do a little bit of damage. He's actually tried to do the stack.
He's got level 4 Starstorm here, and it will help burst it down quite significantly, and he has plenty of mana to work with between his bottle and his Aquila, so spamming out these spells is not too much of an issue. And be able to snag it up. While bottom lane, Cole's looking for maybe an approach onto MSS, who's been kind of the punching bag for MP, but you already know how much MP are getting elsewhere because of it.
Yep, and look at top lane. Arrow actually hits on the Ember. He has Flame Guard up, though.
All up will be there. SPG's nearby. SPG, though, still needs to get to his level 6. In a few seconds, a Tome will be available. If he wants to buy that, he can get to his Static Storm that much faster, which against an Ember is pretty much a guaranteed kill.
I know, both teams, I guess, just okay with farming.
Are you okay with farming?
I'm okay. I think Complexity needs the, they benefit more from early game farming compared to, obviously, MP benefits more from late game farming. They need Axe to get a Blink. The Blink Ion Shell Axe it could just do wonders for them. And then Boat comes in, obviously, it's a guaranteed hit. Now bottom, Moo's just going to square up on MSS.
Moo's making some decent farm. I mean, he's almost got his mechanism. Oh, mid lane, got action here. It's on the Ogre, who gets caught out between two. Nice setup here between both Cancel and Melons. I imagine just simple X into your Mystic Flare combo will do the job. Oh, we didn't even have to use Mystic Flare, so.
They just cleaved him down, I guess.
Yeah, just blasted him down without it, so good work by them.
Boat, only a 60-second cooldown. You're going to throw that out for any kill. It doesn't matter if it's a creep kill or a hero kill. You're just going to throw it out.
Boats aplenty here for Cancel.
Top lane. Oh, man. Poor Justin. He's still just having it pretty rough. He's actually farmed a little bit, 1,600. He is going to go for those boots of travel just so he can, have that movement, can farm around the map, really come to a fight if he actually has to.
Yeah, kill participation would be nice to have at this point.
Oh, and he's getting old. SVG is
everyone is swarming him. They cancel out the song for the arrow. There's no help nearby. TPs are coming in now, but it's too late to save Justin as the static sword's been committed. Glimpse is going to be sending them back and unpacking, and Cole are going to make do with what's left on their team. They're rushing on in, looking to get a hold of Owie here. We're looking to go deep. Boat will fly on board. It should make connection here, and it will get the job done. A follow-up kill also to take down SVG, and they're looking for more, as they'll be able to slash him on apart. Moo will be dropped as an exchange here. Cancel, forced to back up and out, and him and Mellon said we've had enough as they look to reposition. MSS looking to cut him off. Player committed, squares him back a bit. Stun on his Mellon's not going to be able to get the finish. There's the Stars Boat that will get canceled down. And with that, Demon thinks about chasing down Melons, but Justin is back, jumps on in, looking to get the finish. Can he grab MB? Gets him with chains. Starstorm comes out, but he has nowhere else to run. Justin is back. We'll be able to get something his way at the end of the day, pulling him at 1 and 3 now. Woo! Still very profitable there for NP, but
I still think Complexity came a little out top. We saw the initial kill on Justin, but then the double kill from that Boat and Ion Shell on the Axe. Or no, the Axe got sent back. The Axe wasn't even at the fight. He got glimpsed all the way back down, but just Moo running him down with Ion Shell and then the Boat.
That could have been, Z-Freak. Lots of opportunities. He would have had his blink for sure. He would have been able to pick up his blink up there. Yep. Could have been a whole different fight. So credit to SVG for putting us in a
they see him bottom.
Dimension here.
Good. Yep. Far enough. TLC's in bottom. Maybe trying to bait him in, but they don't see Z-Freak is gonna have his blink in 8 gold. They do like both the wards bottom. Of course, MP's is working out more for him. Like right now, we'll see. He's not running through though. They run through the lane.
They have to know that Z-Freak's missing. Yeah, he has a blink and he's looking for a kill.
No.
They'll know that.
And now he's gonna be seen.
Yeah, he'll walk up. SVG's like, yeah, no thanks. Unless they have advantage in numbers here. I don't know if they're trying to use this against Cole, but it looks like they won't. Oh, they might.
They're going to.
Moonlight Shadow, and now they think they can move in on Z-Freak, and they'll spot him. Oh, will they?
Oh, nighttime.
Nighttime vision.
A Moo who's just running away with...
Goes up and around the corner, and they're looking to cut him off, but they're not going to be able to get close enough. Now they've spotted on the other end Z-Freak. Here comes Cancel. Oh, still good position for MP as they're up on the high ground. They'll be able to spot out and hit up Moo. There's the jump from Z-Freak's going to get the grab. That together with the Mystic Flare. Is it going to be enough to burst down the Fatty? No, they won't get even down. Here comes the Boat. It's going to help out Cole stay alive here, but MSS has gotten to the mix now, gets pulled on back into the turret with the Ion Shell in the wall. Can they burst him down? No, he's going to toss the last fight back, and they'll get the dunk finish right before the Glimpse pulls him on back, and they are able to get the cleanup too. Justin shows up to play and will help take down Demon. A promising fight for Complexity as they take down 2. Now they look to the top lane where Owie continues to play the Naga, farming it up, grinding his way. He's getting closer to that Sacred Relic, closer to being a problem.
Yeah, but that was by Ember. Ember just, he spirits to middle to kill, and then just instantly TV's top to try to stop Owie and farm himself. That was a great fight from Complexity. That Ogre was, that's just raindrops. I can't believe the Ogre didn't die from that initial go on. The raindrops just save anyone's life. Maybe even 2 pucks.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Eternal Envy is reasonably far away from his axe still. He has the point booster if he wants to buy it, Aquila and phase boot, so he does decent damage, but definitely out leveling his farm.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Justin just went back to heal, and then almost looked like something happened there.
Envy just leaps on in, leaps on out. Justin shows himself back in the lane. Will try to fend it back as Aoi resumes working his way up here with the Naga. It looks like Dark Savage nearby, waiting in the trees for an opportunity to get the jump onto Justin here. Do they have a song? Yes, they do. A song set up into a static storm. Get the job done. Cancel, though, is nearby, and so is the rest of Cole. That could turn to a very sketchy situation for an MP, but MP are already back in their own defensive position, it looks like, in the mid lane.
It looked like Cole was even pinging top tower. They decided against it. It's hard to take a tower. Naga just sleeps you, gets a perfect 5-man set with Disruptor. What are you going to do?
And it's very obvious MP here. Going to go ahead and avoid Cole this moment, who obviously in a pretty good team fight. Glimpse, pull on back. They got a hold of Justin and throw him right under a static storm. Beautiful swipe back there by SVG. Range on Glimpse is really something else.
It's a special skill.
All the way out if I want to see the AoE on that thing.
Radiant's Courage just died, I think.
Oh, look like going to the secret shop. Take it down in passing.
That was actually... Oh, it looked like Aoi was
Envy, mid lane, got arrow connection onto Swindle, leaps in and cleans it up with a Star Storm. Back-to-back pickoffs, another Glimpse this one though. Not going to get Moo into an awkward spot. But NP string a couple together, and momentum comes back their way as they pull ahead 11-10.
The top cancel. They at least want to get a tower after all this, but the glitch will happen. I think they can still pick it up, and they know everyone's middle.
When do you think the Kuka gets to his scariest point? I know he's not there yet.
He's getting armlet. I think maybe when he gets his Daedalus, possibly. I don't know if that's the 3rd or 4th item, but that's probably when he's the best. I mean, mid-game he's obviously super.
Oh, Cole looking to come to play. They jump in right now. The call's going to be made by Z-Freak, and then a counter song comes out from Aoi. Looking for their own setup. There's the arrow flying on 4. Nice connection onto... They will push him down. Move flies out. There goes the wall. MP already heading south to avoid it here. Flip sends him on back in a packet. Cole looking to scrap whatever they can remaining. X will pull MSS right back into the grasp of Cancel and the rest of Cole here, but they can't get the finish. Arrow flies out and they're forced to retreat as they 180 back. Do not like to fight, of course, under that tier 2. They get the connection on for Cancel as they glimpse him on back. Will eat some hard-hitting damage here. Gets caught within the kinetic field, and he's going to be forced to fight. Drops down to Mystic Flare. It's not going to be good enough, and it's going to be Demon who claims a double kill on this one. Cole lose 3 on a fight they were trying to get the jump on.
And Axe died all the way back here. I assume it was to, to Ogre, right? He just got a level 4 Ignite off and killed him, and that was Moo got a 5-man vacuum into wall, but they just don't have the if Axe doesn't get a call off on all of them, they don't do any damage after that. They have 0 damage without the boat or call.
That is a pretty critical moment in this game for Cole too. That was a moment that they were trying to kind of take reign, and now we're going to be caught in a very awkward limbo position for them because we're looking at MP, and that's a Radiance done. So this Naga has just kind of evolved, and I don't know if that's the timing that Cole were hoping. With a good fight there, they would have prolonged the timing without the Radiance a bit. They would have gotten, obviously, the next item thrown together here for Cancel, and they would have hit a tremendous amount of momentum. But now they're going to be stunted, and it's pressure on Cole to try to take the game back.
It really is. It's pretty much just on Moo. I think Axe needs to maybe stay back, and once Moo gets Blink, it'll be a lot easier. He'll be the initiator, and whoever they vacuum back, obviously the Axe can just fall. I think that's kind of what they're hoping for, but Moo has to get that Blink.
Smoke, it's MP who are looking to go on the offensive here. They feel like maybe it's a delicate Roche period as they look to migrate that way. Right through and under complexity vision, where they don't have an idea how close they are nearby in the lane, and they get a hold of 2 with the song right now. Who are they going to converge for? Moves up and above. They decide to go for Z-Freak instead, and they'll burst them down, committing everything they can to take the Axe apart. Glimpse pull back. They're going to go for Justin. He drops the Remnant, but pieces out. And now Moonlight Shadow is going to be committed here by Envy as they see a new approach from Cole here. They look to converge. They're going to get caught between. Now the boat flies forward. Arrow right on the move. He walks into it and into a pause. There's a crash, apparently, on the side of NP. PC frozen, unfortunately. And it is probably at one of the worst times, Grant.
Oh, yeah, especially because the boat just missed. That was a fail boat.
Boat flying through as they got their approach. It looks like we're going to be back here. Melons easily going to get jumped and finished off right at the back end of that pause. And then they head up with cancel here. Complexity are split apart, and MP taking advantage of it. They get the pullback, they get the ensnare, they get the Kunkka. That will drop them down. MP hit a ridiculous high point in this game, the highest one for sure. Could maybe walk in for Roche. They actually don't have a very good Roche lineup, so no.
They could do it. It would just be one of the slowest Roshans you will ever see.
Safer bet. Let's get some tier 1s. Let's get some free money.
Yeah,
but this is bad for Cole.
Yeah, it wasn't. I can't assume that pause helped him at all. Like, just, especially his mind state, maybe. Like, that pause happens and he just loses
someone like
Swindle,
you like that happens, you're why did that have to happen there? No, and it sucks.
Yeah, the pause. Ooh, and the glimpse back again. You don't play versus Disruptor much. And it's
not in America.
Yeah, definitely
not in America. They have not been trending a lot of Disruptor, and it's just something you've got to remember. And when you don't, you hate yourself for it.
You're going to deny middle. Keep a little of the gold off.
Just denied their middle tower.
And NP obviously feeling confident and in control of the game can get back to their own set of farm. In fact, if you look at the graph, they've pretty much taken the net worth advantage for the first time this game. So, and it's only going to get easier here. You're looking at Aoi now, goes for the smart choice. He goes, I don't know if he made the call or made the He's so big and he takes so much muscle power. Envy just strolls right into the boat, but the song is there from Aoi that sets up the static storm and arrow connection for Moose. So that means no wall for you, sir. He goes down. Complexity lose 2, and they're looking for more as they get Siegfried. They started a jump for Rose, and they end up handing him a killing spree. A pullback on the Melons as he also gets sliced on up. Aoi with his own killing spree to flex 21-10. 3 straight skirmishes, all going the way. NP.
That's just Ogre way too patient for them. The fact, I feel like maybe Complexity doesn't know. Aoi's been fighting with them every time. You don't expect that out of a Naga. The sleep into arrows, like we talked about, we don't see much. We've seen him every time he's casted sleep now. It's been the game changer.
It is just, unfortunately, rendered so much use it feels for Cole. I mean, how many fights now? It's like they get caught in these kind of awkward positions. They get down Zefric at the start of the fight, so you don't have your axe to be there as your frontliner. That fight, Envy made a great shot and executed it.
Oh my goodness. The X, I mean, the Disruptor again.
Sends cancel back up hacking. But we didn't have move for that fight because of the beautifully isolated play there by MP.
This really is just... whoever's making the calls that have Aoi fight with them instead of split pushing, it's winning them the game. It's a different kind of nod. It's working out really well.
Oh, we've seen Aoi do his own kind of a thing plenty of time. Was it with you? I saw a game not long ago. He played that Morphling.
Yeah, that was with the 3K. He just did the stun hybrid build into carry after that. No, he does his... He's an innovator. He's a TI winner. Did you know that?
I think so.
Okay,
I knew
good.
that, I think.
Do you know he played one of the most hated heroes ever and is the reason that hero is garbage now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. It was Texas. Oh, thank goodness. I'm actually glad he did that at TI.
But the thing is like he adapts on the fly, you know,
really
and
smart.
you'll see it this time, the way he plays it this game, you might see it again.
Yeah.
It just, circumstance of the position they're in now, or the advantage they've been able to build for themselves, and now they look to ransack and run right through this top half of the map as they totally take control of the Complexity property here. Full in kind of that buddy-buddy system now, just trying to split apart the map as much as possible. We're getting breadcrumbs right now, Grant, trying to accumulate farm for an inanimate defense that they might have to make. Roche is probably on the agenda, it looks like, here for NP as they head that way, and look who's in the path. Hello, Melons, how you doing? See you later. Cut on down. It's Envy who claims that one and goes dominating.
Oh, and they see the creeps were getting pulled by somebody, and it is Kunkka. He's dead.
Envy, not arrow gonna open for you. He's still asleep. Goes down. Static Storm committed, a worthy one at that, to be able to take the out of the game. He's been brought down 2-3 times straight, so that means we haven't seen any additional investments since the armlet. Trying to get a crit stick together, but I don't think that's going to be happening.
Yep, that comes out middle on Z-Freak. He's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Grant, if I'm honest with you, we could see the Tau thrown in the near future here at this rate.
We could.
They're getting completely bullied.
Yeah, I think Justin, I mean, he's level 15. He has a battle fear, not at the worst timing. He can defend a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's rough. I mean, Eternal Envy, he even committed onto the hood, second item. See, MSS as well. They're all getting hoods. Look at 1437 just picked up a hood. They're hooded up, and I mean that's most of their damage. Is
like
all magical. Yeah, I like it. It's another smart call.
Jump execution for Swindle. Look at Moo trying to make the most of it. Gets the vacuum pull back because he used that vacuum. He can't cancel the TP. Good heads up play from Envy as he just easily TPs away from the trouble. Another takedown, easy freebie there for Envy.
This is just, I would say it's just a frustrating game for Complexity. The Disruptor, I think, is the cherry on top. All these Senmax he's doing just has to keep adding up, like 5 or 6 of them, just making the fights 5v4 instead of 5v5.
Yeah, everyone's doing their part really nicely. I mean, Demon made his presence in the early game. I mean, it was very tough for Envy at the start because of Swindle's impact with his Skywrath Mage, but then Demon quickly helped out, showed up. Bodyguard, and ever since then, yeah, they're trying to get the jump onto him, but really he's just so big, it takes so much time that MP are able to respond, whether it be with a song or an arrow or MSS jumping in.
But he goes Octarine first instead of the Manta. Even Yasha we sometimes see on Naga, and I think he's been abusing his ult so much, the Octarine just is worth more.
Envy on the hunt here, looking to go for Z-Freak. They get the Glimpse pullback, and they will not pursue any further until he lashes out a crazy arrow, which is going to be too far off the path. This marks the spot as Cancel tried to maybe sweep in from behind a bit, then pulls himself out. Or MP just kind of posturing up in a high ground position in the jungle here, covering all entrances from Cole. Rick's like, I don't even know where to go. Going any lane, almost goes into an arrow. Whew, away from it. And they'll be able to get the finish, it looks like, for the tier 2.
Dire's middle tower just went down.
Now we have to be concerned about Complexity's high ground defense game. Grant, they do have a Dark Seer, who's one of the best at that.
And X, yeah.
And an X too, so they have ways to defend and hold. Justin's taking, measures and already cutting down the creep wave as much as possible. He gets it down fast. Oh no. Oh no. He's linked before the damage did because of the flame guard. He makes it up and above and out, but they're still on the chase and they got him with this song. Complexity frantically trying to make it there to help him out. But Arrow's going to be able to connect. They're jumping from MSS. He is going to get silenced up, but they still got him locked down with the stun. He gets the slide off. There's the vacuum there from Boo. Can Justin make it out? He gets ensnared there by Owie and then finally almost slashed apart. He does get brought down. Almost escaping the sleight of fist right there, but eventually you get what they want. But Cole take a couple of names for it. They still lose another as it's a 3-for-2 trade, and it looks like Moo will be number 4. A leap in from Envy will get the finish. And only Z-Freak will survive. Still a great fight for MP. Justin really made them work for it, and Cole took advantage of that, but it still wasn't good enough.
That was such a sick play with the Flame Guard blink out of there, but unfortunately they're just so underfarmed. Like, if they had that fight maybe 2 fights ago, Complexity would have taken that probably 5-0. But unfortunately, it is later into the game, and Owie's super farmed.
Yeah.
Even EE is super farmed. These hoods, they just... Magic damage is non-existent now. Ion Shell does nothing, Torrent does nothing, Flame Guard does nothing but protect.
It goes without saying that this game is not getting any easier for Cole.
No.
I mean, their only hope is to go into that ridiculous late game where Spirit has like rapiers and stuff.
2 rapiers, 3 Daedalus.
I don't. No, that's not something I can forecast. He still has to get the crit.
They're beating on Dire's top
There's quite a journey ahead of him here, and I don't see MP being too forgiving in that front. MP's weaker game is usually in the early part of the game. This is when MP usually kind of can shine.
Yep. Now we see Justin he's trying to just push out lanes, farm as much as he can, but it's just so scared that we've seen some Nagas are so scared to use their sleep. Owie is just aggressively using him, and it's working out perfectly.
Yeah, that's the Owie thing, whether it be in a core or support position. He's one of the best at kind of efficiently utilizing all these ridiculous illusions, whether it be for farm or for intel. And we'll go back into the grind of relieving the stress of this bottom lane a bit. He spotted out Swindle, and he's like, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here. Swindle will die to the being on the bad side of some of those illusions.
And Yule's on from Envy. That, I mean, by buying that, though, it actually, if they lose a team fight or two, that sets him back so far. Obviously, they're not expecting to.
Yeah, it's just, what, the anti-X, I guess. And it's, you know,
throws it up
down,
and, yeah.
Locking down Ember.
It takes Flame Guard off completely.
Yeah. So that fuels the arrow.
Yeah.
See, I can see its utility.
It's interesting, because if they do lose a team fight with this, that Mirana falls so far behind.
Then you, like, I've seen it before, too, and I want to say even, like, Sumail had one of those kind of games when you get kind of overconfident and you turn into, like, a spellcaster Mirana.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, wait a minute, where's our damage at? But they always, at the end of the day, bottom lane, dunk, quick kill, we can catch the back end of that one, but Thievin does get dropped. But we've seen those kind of games where you get far ahead of yourselves. They have the insurance policy of the Naga, though, so...
Now they do have the Chrysalis on Ember, so he's 3 and 6, but he's finding farm. He's taking the most out of the map, especially versus a Naga, which is impressive how much farm he's found in this little time.
We'll just need to get to like one punch man status right now, where it's just like you have Kunkka with Daedalus, and you have Ember with Daedalus, and then Rapier in the future.
Middle.
Oh, Stylen plays, and that was literally no connection.
Yeah.
No connection for that. Swindle died. It wasn't pretty, but he goes down.
Yules from Timber as well. Yeah, that was... I don't know. He was trying to style on him with the Yules arrow, and I don't know how you missed that combo, but he did. Well, I do know how you miss it. I've done it, but, you know, I'm mean. He's him. He's a great player.
This is true.
And look at Z-Freak actually pulling the creeps mid right now.
Anything can prolong and get to that ridiculous late game period. Oh, cancel though. Yules into the arrow, sent back, flips forward, able to walk right out from the Static Storm though, and make it into the safe territory. As MP continue their siege here, sending into the high ground, looking to get some good poking damage on this tier 3. Brought it now below its halfway point. Full waiting before they want to commit any sort of answer. Justin still farming what he can nearby, getting closer and closer to Daedalus period. Moose still being the X factor for their defense, has Wall in his back pocket. Arrow, oh, it's on the move! But they get their own response, and they're almost able to burst down Envy. Bo flies forward, it gets a good connection here. Can they get Envy down? They're going to have to run the hell back. They actually have to song defensively to bail Envy out. All right, good hold by Cole. Don't have to commit the wall or anything.
Exactly. That was just a good blinking call on one hero from Axe. Melon's just used his ult. I mean, Melon's ult, super quick cooldown. You're just using it to scare people off of middle.
Careful, Swindle. Swindle gets a bit overzealous, trying to push back out this mid lane. And it forces MSS to show up, pops him with the Yules, and allows him to get the finish. Not even Cancel can help him out on that one. Back and below, they spotted out Justin nearby. CG, he's got Stack Storm in 1 second. Pulls it right back to lock him in, but no! He jumps right back out and quickly avoids the Static Storm. Just comes up. Oh man, time was not forgiven for NP on that one.
Yep, and this is exact. Cole's doing this right. I mean, Melon dies, but Justin baits out 5 heroes, and he's still just farming. Z-Freak split pushing. Ticking time bomb. If Complexity gets picked off, which they haven't, it could be rough, but good job from them so far.
Still, NP in good control. No doubting that. 50k lead. It's just, you know, time goes on, and those crazy thoughts of rapiers and heavy crits,
they linger.
They linger. They linger in the back of your mind. Like, that was feeling like a 2% chance before. Feels like an 8% now. Slowly begins to creep up. Or the MP have a struggle to kind of close.
Arrow actually hit. Nice silence by Melon.
All right, and when Envy tries to jump in to get the finish, can't quite do so. Tier 3 just on its last legs here. Looks like it will be brought down.
Yep, and bottom too, so that's a lot of gold for Radiant.
Big swing their way. Arrow just off the mark of being able to get connection onto Z-Freak. It looks like Envy's trying to hide it over the creeps. It's worked out decently so far. As they inch in, trying to do as much softening up on this ranged Rax as possible here. No hard commitment, but slowly being withered away. Owie able to get the quick finish there. Swindle.
He just died in base.
Died to the illusions. But there is the X and the bow. It's on Theban, who pretty much shrugs it off easily. Now comes out the song, comes out the kinetic field, comes out the static storm right between the two. There's going to go the backing wall for Moo to force it back away, but they've already finished off Cancel. He's going to be taken out for a minute. No buyback at all. MSS still inside, feeling confident. Now he's going to start dishing out the sleight of fist here. He's got that Daedalus done, but Raxes still stand. I don't know how long MP want to hang around trying to siege, so it looks like they'll take this opportunity to separate a bit and farm Grant.
Yeah, but it seems like the one combo they're waiting for is pretty much Darkseer Vacuum into Call into obviously the Sleight of Fist by Ember, but so far they haven't been able to do it because they're just getting caught out in the Naga sleep. Owie's just playing top tier.
Yeah, he's getting a butterfly soon.
Yeah, and I also noticed, I guess we didn't see it before, but the Mirana Yule's exactly for that, for the silence, but he saves it this time. Oh, he was invisible and dodges. But yeah, taking out that Ancient Seal too, just saw him do it mid, I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. And now they're Mel's dead. That's about it.
Definitely.
Now MSS back to 13 charges. Not the most farmed he's ever been, but he's had a solid game. I think all of them. He has had a mostly solid game.
Yeah, the eel seems pretty obvious now, and especially in the game with all those other factors in play, going against the Kuka and going against the Ember Spirit, is that don't go for the Lotus Orb, just get a Eel. For any more purposes. Now MP are going to go back into pressuring here a bit. But just in mid lane, he actually blinks in towards the creeps. This could be their chance to punish. Hit him with the Yules. There's the Static Storm. Not going to escape this one. Good pounce by MP. Justin gets punished for it. And Envy is just so flabbergasted, apparently, by it. And he says, why? They called GG? Is it for real? I asked myself the same, when you played Invoker, what is happening? This game's actually over, they called GG, Grant. What the hell was that?
That seems like some, I don't know about that. That was some interesting manners right there from Eternal Envy. I'm usually one for flaming, but that was an interesting call by Eternal Envy, but
Boy, he's got a very weird walk though, doesn't he? Mechanical legs. Like his spine is totally distorted. Stinger, early boots on the Undying, perhaps. Planning on doing a bit of roaming, is going to be able to load out and grab up the Cliff Ward for his squad as the mid lane ward to be the response from Elements. Mitch going to look to lane in the beginning. Going to be difficult versus an Undying and a Disruptor, but we'll see how long that tandem stays in lane. And Axe going to load out with the Iron Talon straight towards that jungle, unlike his counterpart in Tidehunter. And against a Shadow Demon and an Ogre Magi, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if Iron Talon is a quicker build for Axe, as opposed to Stealth Shield, Ring of Protection, and then into the Iron Talon. But either way, he makes the right decision in terms of not laning against that duo. However, that is going to mean his Storm Spirit, who very notoriously is weak in the first few levels, could see some presence in his lane. Stinger going to cop a tower shot for his troubles. Another decay in towards the Tiny in the mid lane, and gonna try and make this an easier matchup for Kotaro early on, who does catch an Ignite. He's one of the heroes that can deal a little bit with this Ogre harassing him early on, as he does have the magic damage. Ogre very resistant to physical early on. 8 armor already here at level 1. Bottom lane, talked about this matchup, Disruptor versus Tide. And opts to go for the Kraken Shell early on, but still taking tons of damage. As we mentioned, the Axe already out of lane, in towards the creeps. Already eaten through a couple of his tangos, but gonna be farming just fine. Kotaro mid lane. Put some punishment into Goji, who is nearing bottle gold at this point. K comes out again from Stinger, and I swear that's gonna scare the crap out of me every time I hear that, thinking that there's a kill happening somewhere. But for now, Infamous fairly happy with the start. Again, as I mentioned, their fate, the Radiant side, completely in their hands. If they win out, they will take the 4th spot and move on into the playoffs. Elements Pro Gaming, they need a little bit of help, ironically, from Infamous if they win. They need Infamous to take out Freedom after this one to make them to that 4th spot. Toss forward, salve up. Storm Spirit safe, but it burns a salve, and that's going to force him back to base or to wait out this courier to bring him some regen. So that is a pretty huge win in the mid lane there. Netted by the Ogre Magi. Got one tango ticking away, but that'll be all she wrote. And was doing very well in the mid lane. Sitting on 12 and 6 to the 4 and 1 of Goji, but Goji will finally have some time with his bottle now. Farm. And it looks like Kotaro, he's going to bottle up, crow it back more than likely, gets the Ring of Regen out to his Axe. And this is the problem with jungling your Axes. You can't really stack up as a Storm and farm. So we will see the Ogre suicide. Kotaro going to cop some toss damage, but does have a full mana pool at the very least now. Goji can get his bottle refilled if he gets there in time. And he will. LeBron able to do that. So some more tosser ass flying out, but still, Tiny only with 5 CS total. Jump forward though, they catch the Avalanche, Fire Blast and the Ignite. This is a dead Storm Spirit. He'll turn for one more right click, and Stinger will try to pursue forward, but he's still only level 1 on this Undying, so LeBron manning up against him, feeling just fine. Had his abilities cooling down. They may even go in again. They can toss forward, they need an Avalanche on top. They will get it. One more right click, Fairy Fire's there. Decay will keep him strong. One more pick of the Ignite. LeBron double kill for this Ogre Magi in mid lane, level 3 to the level 1 of his counterpart, and that is going to help out his Tiny, who was doing very poorly in lane as well. Looks like both of the offlaners back out in towards the jungle, and that certainly gives advantage Radiant side as he's level 5. He loaded out into the jungle, whereas Mitch tried to make it work in lane and was unable to do so. So a little bit behind in farm, 12 CS to his name relative to the 30 of the Axe, and it doesn't look like he really stymied the Drow Ranger at all. Benjaz with 10 denies and about the same last hits as Swift Ending. So really certainly a good bit of an advantage gain there, and now Mitch in trouble. Kotaro gonna find him. Remnant on the high ground. One more right click with the overload. Nice solo kill, gonna go the way of the Storm Spirit. He's only level 5 though, so needs to be careful here. On the high ground, gonna drop another Remnant, catches on to 2. Avatos not gonna be there. Doesn't look like he'll get the double damage, but Kotaro will end up dropping. And certainly not worth the kill on the Tide, it feels. As Goji, he was the major loser in the early game, essentially. You know, sitting on 11 CS currently, but 3 assists now. All 3 of those kills going to LeBron is really going to help him transition in towards the mid game. And you see, he's still, after all that, 5th overall in the net worth. So you can only imagine how far back he would have been had LeBron not been able to get him some kills in towards this mid lane. Kotaro, though, he's going to be soon to pick up his level 6.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And that's going to be a pretty large advantage for the Storm. But Tiny as well will get that level and grow, get that bit of extra burst potential. LeBron still sitting behind him in the mid lane. And meanwhile towards top, a little bit of right click damage coming in from Swift Ending. Level 1 in the Lunar Blessing though, so nothing too significant. The Drow's in fact gotten a little bit more damage done on her side of the map. Tread's going to be finished up by the Luna here, and now the Axe going to rotate in towards top lane. Does have the Tranquil Boots, so should be just fine to clean this wave up, back out, let himself heal. And will catch himself a couple of CS on the way up as well. Smoke now from Goji as well as LeBron. He does have that level and grow, so a little bit of extra firepower. This Fire Blast range is very short early on, but it's enough. And now Goji should be able to walk over with the Bloodlust. Nice glimpse back. Avatos, though, it does land before the glimpse cuts through, and the purple Stone Warrior, who's currently bloodlusted, does end up netting himself his 4th kill involvement of the game. 1100 gold in his pockets. Can just pick up a set of arcane boots if he wishes to do so, but likely just to go perhaps straight into the blink. Kotaro hanging around mid lane. He's trying to bait the Avatos combo because he does have the Undying behind. And now even the Axe rotating through. He'll get the slow off with the overcharge. Now another one with the ball lightning. Avalanche does connect on the 2, but the call is there, and the Cull is there before Goji can make any sort of saving reaction. And Kotaro is going to be involved there. And the kill is going to be found by the Axe. So they are keeping this Tiny down, and it is a very momentum-based hero. But a bit of a rocky start, no pun intended. Alright, pun intended. Poor Goji on his Tiny.
Says thank you.
And 1700 gold in the pockets of Axe as he does bring down the enemy mid laner. This stack will put him near that Blink Dagger mark. And that is a huge milestone for him to collect. It'll be about 250 gold away at this point, as he makes his way back to base. Mitch, on the other hand, does pick up a set of arcane boots on the Tidehunter, but, you know, is quite a bit underfarmed relative to the Axe. And recovery from Stinger's been okay. He's level 4 now. Zip forward, top lane. Ball lightning. Full of slows from the overcharge, but the defensive disruption will keep back the Storm Spear. Don't even dropped here. Bring it down easily with the SD illusions. Now the Tiny finds a kill on the Disruptor mid lane. Rotating in, Cole should be there if he can get in range, and he will. Get the extra move speed as well. Toss just up in the air from Goji. And back towards the mid lane goes Kotaku. He does have a regen rune as well. And look to make things happen here as Courier with a Blink Dagger in a lot of trouble, and they'll put it back in towards Goji. Blink Dagger does get delivered. regen rune now, though. Up onto the Storm Spirit. He tries to keep it up and running and will be successful in doing so for the time being. Oh, Avalanche will cancel it. Now rolling through is the Tidehunter. He's going to get glimpsed back, though, and Kinetic Field will keep Goji in range. He'll try and Ravage here, but it'll be little too late. Now the taunt coming through from the axe. He could be in trouble. He's going to get ignited up and chased down. Mitch will get off the Anchor Smash to kill him, but likely they're going to lose more here, the Dire side. The Courier coming through. Drow Ranger, one more right click from the Storm Spear will finish him off. Gus connect onto LeBron. Kinetic Field will be there. Instant TP out from Mitch. They won't be able to bring down the Tidehunter, but they will get the Ogre. So 2 for 1 in that bottom hemisphere of the map, and Storm Spirit involved in all that. The Drow Ranger even showing her face. Meanwhile, Swift Ending, though, alongside his Shadow Demon, going to push in the tower top lane, and the wave did drag pretty far down underneath here, bottom lane, where they get the tier 1 tower. So Elements get a couple of towers despite losing the kill battle in that recent skirmish, and you get the reveal out of the Blink Dagger of the Axe as well, and the Courier there. So a couple of traded Courier kills for either side. But considering the state of the game, it feels like that little skirmish did favor Elements, and you know, the graphs seem somewhat indicative of that, at least in the way of gold, because of the towers. The kills, of course, will give the experience to Infamous, but Benjaz, you know, Drow Ranger lineups at 10 minutes that don't have a single tier 1 down are concerning Drow Ranger lineups, and it's not as if he's died. He's farmed well, but definitely you want to see this group, them group around the Undying and Axe with the Blink Dagger and try and take one of these important structures, and they'll do just that towards the mid lane, as right in front of the creep wave, LeBron is going to be taunted up. They don't even need the Gust to finish. He'll get it done with the Culling Blade, and this should be an easy tower in the mid lane. Glyph is now popped, was available, but no trades to be found since all the side lane tier 1s at least are down for Elements already. Looks like they'll just look for a little bit of farm on Goji, who had a rough start. Looking straight into the Blink Dagger, as I mentioned, and 250 gold away from that, but it looks like he's going to be engrossed upon bottom lane. They are going to see this, though. Decay does come out and will connect onto Goji. He'll simply TP out and back to his tier 1. So this ward facilitating his safety there will only be up for another minute. Already, Arcane Boots, Soul Ring, and a Vitality booster here for Kotaro. So very close to his Bloodstone, just needs the point booster as well as the recipe. And all 3 cores, well, the jungler 2 cores and 2 cores are very farmed on Infamous's side. They seem to have gotten away with the greed, and they'll group up once again towards bottom lane. Shadow Demon Illusions, though, doing quite a bit of work on Kotaro Storm Spirit. He's really going to have to rely on his frontliner in the Axe to keep himself safe. And again, a couple of illusions queued up, and be able to send those out along with Swift Ending and clear up the wave. It is, at this point, able to keep them at bay, the Radiant side, from pushing with their Drow Ranger. Case Rune going to be secured by Stinger. He'll be able to make it back under the cover of the fog and into safety. See where Swift Ending's at on his item progression. Looks like Dragonlance should be coming out relatively soon, if not right now. Will be a Blink Dagger for Tidehunter for the time, or the Tiny, excuse me, for the time being. 400 gold away on top of Aquila, Helm of the Dominator, and Power Treads for Swift Ending. So certainly where he needs to be. Ben has his Dragonlance up. And the Blade of Alacrity as well. So about at the same point, minus the Ring of Bassi for the Aquila, and does not have a full Helm of the Dominator, so it's a bit less farmed than the Luna. Yasha to come out relatively soon here, as he can pick up the band of Elven Skin from the side shop, and they'll look towards this tower in the top lane, which is fully healthy, and meanwhile, Elements looking for the trade here, so it looks like Infamous do want to fight. They have the Blink Dagger, they have arguably the stronger 5-man at this point, but they'll get that Blink Dagger cancelled for now by these illusions, and it looks like at the very least, Elements have successfully garnered a reaction out of Infamous here. Jump forward, Loosen Beam. Oh, Fire Blast was in cast range, but stopped, it seemed. Now with the Bloodlust Swift Ending underneath the tower, needs to be careful. This Axe can come back in as the Ignite expires. 2 seconds until Blink. Oh, the Glaive actually going to bounce through, and now the top forward. Lucent Beam is there as well. Gust back onto the Tidehunter, but looks like the Axe is left for dead. Static Storm will be there, and Goji taking a lot of damage. Thunderstrike will finish him off. Decay onto Nick. He's in trouble now because of the Tombstone as well. Right click with the Dragon Lance coming from the drop, but Swift Ending, he'll pop up the Eclipse and get at the very least the Undying. Kotaro, no, he joins the fray, and they're going to get the Ogre Magi as well. Infamous. They take 3 in the mid lane. They may even make it 4 as a pull back Milan, and the Disruptor will finish it off. It's 5-man wipe. Tiny as well went down there early on, so didn't count him, but yeah, full 5-man wipe in the mid lane. Nice Static Storm. The Axe survived way longer than Elements expected him to, and they had to kind of recommit in to finish him off. And then the Tombstone was placed down nicely, forced out a Ravage, which was super subpar, and everyone able to just do their job for Infamous's side. Really nicely played overall as a unit by them. And just kind of weird that they stuck around with Swift Ending under the tower there. They even had a really nice initiation onto the Axe to Blink, but really unable to make it work. And Kotaro pops up the regen rune, will grab himself up a bounty as well. As down in the river, they will drop that cliff ward. It's going to see Swift Ending now. They do have a glimpse in range. Mitch, of course, does not have a Blink Dagger. The Lucent Beam will be there. Kinetic Field, Static Storm dropped on the Swift Ending. Soul Rip will keep the Disruptor safe for now. We talked about this in the draft. Tidehunter, not too good against Disruptor spell. He will be able to Kraken Shell off the Electronic Vortex. It does look like we have a crash in the meantime. This Tidehunter sitting on 284 HP, has 15 stick charges, so maybe a little bit difficult to bring down. Looks like the kinetic field just about to drop here on Swift Ending, but he has Bloodlust, so sitting for 15 MS, probably is able to outrun it. Coming in from the east is the Axe with his Blink Dagger as well. See if he's able to close the distance, but either way, it looks like just going to be a clean kill for Infamous. 1 on the Tidehunter, everyone else to make it out. We'll see how far Kotaro's willing to zip, and I doubt that's very far, as he's low in mana and just picked up the Bloodstone. You definitely don't want to be giving away charges, you want to be gaining them. So, ready to die. Ron? He will pop stick charges, they'll get the dunk off, glimpse back. The disruption actually doesn't glimpse him, or disrupt him in place, he gets glimpsed through it. Swift Ending's gonna be finished off as well. But Braun even hanging around to try and save, and now the Avatar will be split between a few. Kotaro's able to zip out to the east, and it looks like he'll be able to be earned up and make it away. They'll get Koji as well, double kill. Doing the dance is Stinger, as the South American squad are making short work of Elements here. And now zip forward from Kotaro, he's going to get disrupted up. Soulcatcher's there as well. He's actually going to take a lot of damage. He may just end up dying here. He doesn't save the ball lightning for the Demonic Purge, and he ends up just dropping to Milan. 661 gold for that Shadow Demon, and now the Shadow Poison running through into the pit as well. The Storm Spear with a very weird individual play, but he will jump forward to get the Aegis. Gives away 6 Bloodstone charges and a pretty hefty chunk of experience to the Shadow Demon, who's now level 9. Jump forward into the pit, and Storm Spirit zips out to the west. Not quite up the hill, is bottling up. Gonna get Lucent Beamed, and likely will lose his Aegis here. Couple blunders from Kotaru. And they don't have a Fire Blast off the back of this respawn. They do have a Ravager. They're going to use it. Static Storm is there. And they'll jump back in onto LeBron. He'll be gusted up. Mechanism will be there, but likely it's a dead Ogre Magi. The Storm Spirit makes it out. Glimpse back now onto the Tidehunter, and Elements won't be able to chase for more. So after some really questionable play from the Storm Spirit, it looks like Infamous will stop the bleeding. Jump forward. The ice spoke too soon. They're going to get the Avatos and the Lucent Beam onto Kotaru, but he will be able to make it out to the west under their Soul Catcher there and does not end up going down. Very risky play from Kotaro coming out. Blade Mail going to be soon finished up by the Axe though, so on all fronts, the Radiant still doing very well in this game, although pretty aggressive towards the mid lane, looking for the kill. They get the mechanism off onto the SD, and that's just a free kill on the Axe. Infamous are, let's just say it, throwing at this point. Although still, steady hand of Benjaz behind them, and he's yet to die. 5-0-6 on the Drow Ranger. And there's still some low-hanging fruits on this map. There's still the couple of towers in the off lane, so that's a good influx of gold they can find. You know, Roche is off the table, and now they will lose their mid lane tier 1 without glyphing it. Oddly enough.
Radiant's middle tower
For Infamous, there is a glimpse available in this mid lane. But wisely, Goji backs out to the east into the fog, and they're unable to punish him. Only 1,000 gold on Kotaro since picking up that Bloodstone, and it feels like he's had it for a while. A couple of costly deaths for him. One with the Aegis, one without. Blade Mail is now picked up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But right back in towards the siege goes Elements. Big wave in bottom lane. And looks like the Axe will be able to clean it up as the SD illusions come through as well. He's going to get Lucent Beamed up. There goes the Ignite. Demonic Purge is there as well. The Eclipse will just blow him up. And they'll take down the Tombstone relatively quickly as well. Now the Undying a little bit low, but this will allow them to continue to siege. Jump forward, Avatos combo finishes off the Undying. Justice not really that good. Coming out from Ben has now glimpsed back onto the Tidehunter, but he gets the Ravage off in time. Stormspear forced to zip out to the north. The Storm is able to make it away. Drow Ranger does find the return kill onto the Tiny. LeBron may be in trouble now as well. He's trying to fight into the Disruptor. Nice cut to keep back Swift ending as well as we land here. And now Ben has with the Dragonlance still right-clicking away. Just not going to save you here, Milan. Glimmercape just might though, and it will. Nicely played. Really odd to see that first death on the Axis. He just jumps in on top of some SD illusions. It's his blink canceled and blown up by the Eclipse. Not sure if he even popped his Blade Mail there. Had he popped his Blade Mail, would have done a decent amount of work, having been hit by so many beams, but regardless, this is certainly still a game. Jump forward, blink underneath the Ancient's Blade Mail is there. Big ball lightning as well. And one last counter Helix will finish off the Luna. Huge play coming out from Infamous' side, and they'll look to take the Ancient as well. There's the Tombstone down. Why are Elements sticking around for this? They'll mech up. Goji's going to come through. He'll get the Avatos off onto the Axe. But now, from the east, Benhaz gets the Gust off onto Goji. Decay is there as well. He's on the spot. They'll drop a Remnant. One last right click from Benhaz. Monster kill streak for this Drow Ranger, and she's still yet to concede a death. 8-0-6 is the steady hand, the stalwart for this lineup. Kotaru with a massive zip there with the Arcane Rune, able to come in and help blow up the Luna, and for some reason, Elements decided they could stick around on that one without a Ravage with the Ogre and the Tidehunter, and they simply just lose those two heroes, or at least the Tiny and the Ogre, or Tiny and the Tide. Excuse me.
Bottom tower has
Brain, please. Infamous again in the driver's seat now, perhaps more so than ever. LeBron gonna get down some deep vision, needs to get himself the hell out of dodge at this point as well, and will block up the Ancient camp. Benhaz gonna put himself to work here. Does have the Hurricane Pike available, so can maybe react quickly enough to get himself away from the Tiny. Can also potentially get himself out of Eclipse range. Generally speaking, just a good bit of utility to have, and of course provide some offensive power as well. Any other luxury items? They've got the Glimmer Cape to come out here. No blink or anything of the sort. Hood and a urn coming out for the Disruptor. Dragonlance was completed up not too long ago. Only 1,600 gold on top of that for Swift Ending, so not nearly as farmed relative to his counterparts as he was a little while ago. Goji gonna go in for the Shadow Blade after the blink.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Really good combination. You can either use the Shadow Blade to extract yourself or to ensure that you can blink, you know, get within blink range without being scouted. Creeping up towards the mid. And Dire do not have vision of this currently.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
His Infamous' side. Dire are wondering where they are. And as the Drow shows in mid lane, they'll have a better idea of Infamous' positioning. Looking for the glimpse now. No ward though on Disruptor, so can't place one down behind the tower. They'll drop down the Luna Illusions, look to clear up the wave as they have been doing. Sentry on the deck. 4 elements, and a little bit too spread out perhaps now for Infamous for them to look to initiate with this axe, but they will still poke at this mid lane tier 2.
Middle tower is under attack.
And with the Drow Ranger, you know, if you don't get a reaction out of your opponents quick, you will get a tower.
Dire's middle
And
tower.
Kotaro with the Precision Aura able to pick up the last hit. He goes for a BKB here on the Storm Spirit, and, you know, not being ravaged or eclipsed or avatossed can help a lot. So look for him to initiate the fights as opposed to allowing his enemies to do so, as he should feel safe to jump forward. Not enough physical damage to punish him yet. Again, Drow Ranger lineups back to work in the top lane. Haste Rune popped on Kotaro. He's going to feel very safe here, and he'll be able to clean up this wave of creeps as well. So a couple of towers going their way, and that's all the outer tier towers going the way of Infamous' side. And they'll take a peek at high ground.
Dire's
Something
top
was
tower
dropped there,
is
not
under
sure what.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Bot lane,
Dire's structures are fortified.
they're going to be able to get a tower of their own as the Dire side, but they're losing tier 3s right now. Kotaro on the high ground does have a BKB, feeling fairly safe. Jump forward though, front back, and looking to take out the Disruptor Flip. Is there, and now jumping forward, Kotaro, he's pretty low on mana. Was a bit of a panic BKB pop there. Don't know why the Storm felt he needed, and now as it expires, they're jumping forward with the Ravage and the Eclipse. Beautifully timed by Mitch, and Swift Ending. Not exactly sure if they planned on accomplishing there. Jump forward, nice defensive disruption, and now he actually be in a little bit of trouble. Decay though, Swift Ending is a little bit low, and Ben has still very healthy, but he Hurricane Pikes himself into the enemy. Now he's going to be in trouble. Soul Rip, not enough mana there. Ben has in trouble. He's a big streak to give away for Ben has. He gets a 4-man gust off, but one more right click will finish him off as the glaive follows him. And again, all of this coming off the back of just poor play by the Storm Spirit for Infamous. Feels like he may have just cost them the game. He's going to get a bit of help from this bounty room and be able to bottle up to the hill. And we'll be able to make it out to the west. Blink forward though from Mitch. He's going to continue the pursuit here, and now from Goji as well. He can toss the Tidehunter in, will do so. Taro still a little bit low. Has a BKB charge if need be again, but he's going to just try and make it out. Avalanche catches him though. Has the BKB. A couple more right clicks. Oh man. Kotaro is it's not his game. Put it that way. It is not his game considering the start he had. I mean, this Tiny was almost entirely shut down in lane. Sure, they got a couple kills with the Ogre, but he was just under-farmed and still is. 6th overall in the net worth. You have to be tilted watching your Storm Spirit here on the Radiant side. First we had him jump over the cliff onto the pit and die solo to a Shadow Demon. Then we had this top lane BKB one hero and then walk back uphill and just hang around with a Ravage still and an Eclipse still available. Dies there. Then that kind of predictable move top lane. Knowing Goji was nearby, so hopefully he can pick up his socks for his own sake here, but that's 2 BKB charges down, and he invested into this item early. Sub 30 minutes down to the 7-second BKB already. And really, you know, he just needs it to dodge either a Ravage or an Avatos combo. You're, as a Storm Spirit, you're not as worried about an Eclipse, because if you don't have the lockdown from the aforementioned 2 abilities, it's not going to kill you. Koji, though, invisible, Shadow Blade and Blink, Dancing Undying, not the easiest target. They are going to find Tiny, though, before he's able to initiate with Kotaro's freshly picked up gem. Eclipse not going to do all that much with all these units around. Ravage doesn't connect onto the Storm Spirit as well. Swift ending very low. Next tries to keep him up. Ben has off to the east, so we'll be able to right-click him down. Now LeBron in trouble. He's going to get right-clicked down. They are going to be able to taunt up onto Tide, and even Hurricane pike him away to ensure he doesn't find a kill. 5-man wipe going the way of Infamous, and they get what they need, and all it takes is a Gem of True Sight and a little bit of due diligence missed by the Tiny there to not check his entry. So he will be taken out, as will this tier 3 Drow Ranger lineups. You lose heroes anywhere near your base, especially multiple heroes, and you lose your base. And that just may be what Infamous needed to push them over the hurdle here. We'll jump in towards mid lane with the Manta style, bring this down relatively quickly, and just all these precision oil right clicks. There's a tier 3 going their way. There's no Ravage on the element side, and that's why you see them stick around here. Jump forward from Goji, avalanche toss onto Green. He's going to get pulled back as he tries to Shadow Blade away. He'll die for the second time in about as many minutes. We'll be able to buy back. Ron in trouble, though. Overload Flow is going to be there to finish him off. Demonic Purge onto the Drow Ranger will force Benjaz back for the time being, but they get the Melee Racks in the mid lane. They get the full set in the bottom lane. Really no reason for Infamous to stick around here, as they've used most of the juice in their tank and forced out some buybacks here. Going to be just the Tiny buying back. Top lane of racks fully healthy, but 2 melee racks down here. Sub 30 minutes is a crippling loss for Element side, and a bit of a desperation move outside of the base, looking for picks here with Goji. Unfortunately, they guess wrong, and they won't be able to try and take out the Storm Spirit, who had a BKB regardless, so unlikely to be brought down. Gem pretty much winning the game for Infamous there. 29 to 20, 30 minutes in, and with those lanes of racks, you're going to see some of these key items now come out for Infamous. They finish up the Orchid. They've got a full pipe on the axe as well. Crimson Guard now. Silver Edge available on top of the Manta. And even a Blink on this Disruptor, who had earned Glimmer beforehand, so really going to be very difficult for Elements. It's going to take some missteps on the part of Infamous for Elements to win this one. Aegis now into the hands again of the Storm. Got his BKB as well, got his Orchid, so it can be as aggressive as he'd like to be going for a bit of a optimistic ward thrown down here in the mid lane, and now Ignite multicast there onto the axe, but he is so tanky. Crimson Guard, pipe, the Blade Mail even as well is going to be forced out. They use the Demonic Purge though. Not the biggest cooldown used by Elements, but it is one that's perhaps going to invite initiation from Infamous. I mean, mid lane, they'll take out the range racks with the Storm Spirit. Lane, they'll start to poke at the next set. That feels bad, man, when you're running from Shadow Demon Illusions. Jump forward, toss back. Stinger into the base, will get glimmered up. Jump forward from the Storm Spirit. Static Storm is going to connect onto 2, and it's going to push back the Tide. Eclipse going to pop off. still off the Undying. Swift ending though, he's taunted up. Blade Mail doing some work against the Luna. He's a little bit low. Kotaro still has an Aegis in hand, jumping forward. Does bring down the Luna, and Element will tap out of this game and of the tournament, much as Pro Dota did in our previous matchup. They are going to be eliminated now at 2 and 4. Unable to get 4 wins. Max they can get is 3. They're going to be taken out. Infamous. I mentioned it at the beginning of this. Yeah. And maybe they'll just dual lane with the Tidehunter. Acid Spray plus Anchor Smash is a thing, I suppose.
30 seconds to battle.
What is it about a support Weaver pick that makes you rethink your Alchemist? My question. Not entirely sure. But, hey. What do I know? I'm a scrub. Well, let's see how it works out. I'll certainly ask Swindles to explain that decision to me a little bit later down the road. But it does look like they'll secure the both runes, in fact, for elements, so complexity lost. That sucks. Swift Ending picks up the bench. And this is some sort of roaming duo here in Milan and LeBron. They can definitely walk heroes down with Ignite and Shikuchi. And towards the mid lane already, Cancel taking a little bit of Spectral Dagger Harass. Holding on to a skill point wisely so. I mean, can just leap away from the Ignite. But he skills it a little late, he misses his leap. And maybe this is why they didn't want to give him Mirana.
First blood.
I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Shadow Word, Mitch taking some harass top lane and Cancel right back towards lane. You gotta just, at first you fail, try and try again, folks. Cancel already has a leap left and needs to be using it here. He'll guess right this time as he goes over into the north and will be able to dodge the Ignite, but LeBron, he'll find himself a nook in the tree and they'll walk down Cancel again. I really wish I could give you guys something deeper on that, but that's all I got. Goji gonna have a great start to his lane. Only 1 CS though today. Certainly 2 kills relatively makes up for it, to the Mirana, but I would like to have a bit more CS. And they are dual laning Z-Freak as well as Muhu here, so it can perhaps garner an advantage. It feels like Swift Ending. Yeah, 3 and 2 on the CS to the 8 and 1 of the Tide. He's been shut down a little bit. So while we've seen Cancel, get eaten up mid lane, he can always opt for a Midas. He can always kind of farm with his Sacred Arrow, and even the Agonist to some extent, can be seen as a farming tool. So it's not necessarily him being written off just yet. Arrow gonna fly out right through the teammate, and Z-Freak will end up stunning himself by virtue of that concoction. He'll salve and Clarity over to the west, and they have another unstable concoction ready to go. Oh, Swift Ending, he's gonna chase pretty deep for Mu here. Does Mu jump down? Better of it. 760 HP on the Venge. Level 1 Acid Spray. It's unlikely they get a kill, and they probably expend quite a lot attempting it. But been a rough early game for Complexity. Elements after, losing relatively convincingly to Infamous, who is certainly a much weaker team than Complexity, are looking decent here. And Cancel is going to be able to dodge the Ignite, but he does not dodge the Spectral Dagger. He has a little bit extra move speed from the pounce. He'll try an arrow. Goji will miss. LeBron under the tower. One more right click. Doesn't get the job done. They turn. The creeps will finish him off. So unfortunate for Cancel. He still ends up dying when all is said and done. Goji is forced to limp back towards mid lane, and will ferry himself out of south. Milan just being pesky in the bottom lane, as Weavers tend to do. And it gives them a chance to dive the tower here. With the Wave of Terror, the Bug should be getting the aggro. Will they Shikuchi forward? No mana left on Milan, so they cannot continue pursuit. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Mitch can be forced to sprint away. And Milan catches himself a regen. Gucciing over towards the mid lane. It's a pretty big cooldown at this point. He is going to find out cancel. A couple of right clicks going to him. He has no pounce available. Bugs were on cooldown as well.
Dire's bottom
So
tower
no
is
chance to
under
dive the
attack.
tower there. Salve up from cancel. Milan going to look to go find him. And we'll run into him. Bugs come out as well. No Sakuchi for another couple seconds. Cancel opts not to fight it though. And often you forget, you know, how seldom available that Shikuchi is early on. Swift ending, he's going to take a spill in the bottom lane. Not quite yet. 2 seconds until Gush. He'll get denied. Oh, everything going Element's way, and Milan suicides as well. So no one able to really get any sort of kills. And Cancel just like trying to find a way to kill this big troll off.
Dire's middle
Will be
tower
able to do
is
so.
under
Well
attack.
shot. Meanwhile, top lane, Gust is going to connect on to Mitch, but it's after the crush. And it's an ignite onto Melons as well. With the sprint, though, Fatal Bonds is there. Fairy Fire, Melons looks to stand and fight. Mitch in trouble. Justin trying to kill him via the Fatal Bonds, but the crush comes back through. 2 kills go Element's way, 5-1. And they'll get down to 1 hero on complexity that was free farming in Justin's Drow Ranger. This early game has just been an unmitigated disaster. Complexity side, and I remember when this hero was picked up as a support, but that was long ago, well before the massive nerfs to unstable concoction, and he's just not nearly the hero that he used to be. Cancel going to take a spectral dagger in the face, and he's having a lot of trouble in this lane. Currently sitting 3rd from the bottom of net worth, out of the mid lane, level 4, forcing Z-Freak to kind of sit behind him. And arrow comes through, will connect on top of the unstable concoction, and the acid spray will burn down EA. That's 332 gold going the way of Z-Freak, but more importantly, some experience going into the hands of Cancel, and gonna help him out in this lane a little bit more as he's able to pick up the level 5, even gets himself a ward last hit there. But top lane gets Swindle Melons once again on the Warlock with that trio of heroes. And even now, Swift ending. So now you kind of understand Element's decision, but they're baiting him in. Stable Concoction is there. Moo gets the Anchor Smash off. It's reduced damage here, but Moo should still drop. He gets the Fairy Fire off with the Wave of Terror. One more gets the Vision. Arrow's not going to be there in time from Cancel. Cancel will pick up the return kill onto Swift ending, which is nice. And I was going to say, you see why the Elements makes the move they make to put the Venge instead of the PA up against the tide. Now Melons upheavaling top lane. He's got a little bit of a residual slow going onto Mitch. Will get Fatal Bonds as well as the Shadow Word off onto the Slarda, but as Cancel TP's in, he's going to be missing the arrow, and that's going to be a free TP out for LeBron. Goji jumping forward, amp damage, one more right click, will bring down Melons, and a huge Spectral Dagger on top of the amp. There's Crush is there as well. Cancel going to go down, double kill for this PA. Justin now inbounds, and will be blinked down to... Does get the Gust off, needs one of these right clicks to connect, and it will. Level 1 Blur not doing enough for Goji there. And this is just mayhem in this early game, but one thing we can say is that Cancel is poor. 8 minutes in on only sitting on Brown Boots Great Band Bottle on this Maran, and now mid lane, keeping in with the pre-charged up unstable concoction. Gush acids there as well. Nice swap from Swift ending, will keep himself safe. LeBron, pretty tanky upheaval is there as well from Melons, and now Mitch gonna jump forward, goes for the crush, will find it onto Z-Freak. Amp damage is there as well. Swift ending returning to the fray. The dagger from Goji as he TP's in, finishing off the Alchemist. And Elements still doing very well. In the meantime, Justin does do Drow Ranger thing top lane and has 2 deaths, but finally will get himself a kill on that tower. Full Aquila and treads up for him. Level 7, so not the ideal start for a Drow, but not a terrible one either. He'll jump down towards the bottom lane. He's got a Gust, so Ravage into Gust will likely kill off this this Weaver. They choose to expend that, and the Weaver Currently sitting on level 6, so maybe not the most high value target, but as soon as he picks up that marksmanship in that tower, down towards the Ancients, Justin goes in farming bigger fish. Goji, though, having a great start on this PA, already level 8. Should have some phase boots soon, if not now. Looks like he's going to go straight into the Battle Fury, potentially, and now swap from Swift Ending will find Melons out of place. And Swift Ending will be the one to get the kill as well. Bloodlust helping them out in this push. Could be a point-blank range arrow from Cancel and a Starstorm. It would have killed off Swift Ending, I think. But he thinks better of it. Probably expects to die, if not. In bottom lane, no Ravage used, but they do end up getting the Gust, apparently, on the Weaver. Unstable Concoction is there, and this will likely be a tower. They are looking to make a rotation over for Element side, but it is a Drown Ranger here. Swift is going to be popped up. Yeah, they're not all that healthy as well, so it looks like they'll concede this tier 1. They got the tier 1 in the mid lane, so biggest loss. They are keeping in with a fight though, and the Bugs, as well as the Shikuchi forward coming out from Milan. Mitch is there as well. He's got a sprint available. Over from the west, they throw in a dagger onto Justin. And they're going to see Siegfried stun himself. He does have chemical rage up, but they'll blow him up. Ravage is going to connect only onto the PA right now. They have not enough for another Slithering Crush, but they do for an amp damage. Dagger's going to come through. Milan is there. They're going to be forced to drop the Chaotic Offering. It's doing a lot of damage. I was going to fly through, split the wickets, and not connect onto anyone. Now Melons is in trouble as Milan and Goji will chase him down. Full kill going the way of this PA. Blinking forward underneath the tower. Bugs are there for the armor reduction and should be able to get tied as well. Triple kill for the PA. Goji, 1,000 gold in his pockets.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Blink Dagger, 11 minutes in, picked up by Mitch. And they even get the Chaotic Offering out of all that. So, 4-0. You know, 2,500 net gold swing, 2,300 in the way of experience. Actually in trouble, 16-5. Goji is seemingly unstoppable right now. They are going to back off as she is low and a very big target in order to bring down. But there's no Ravage and there's no Chaotic Offering, so lingering at the very least around this bottom lane. Gusted up is Milan. Bring it over to the west, though, and now jump forward to the front. He's going to find Justin. Unstable Concoction connects onto 2. Is it enough to save the Drow Ranger? The dagger will finish her off. Fatal Bond's doing a lot of work here. Milan will be able to time-lapse off the damage, but a jump forward from Goji. He'll find Siegfried. He's a big value target, though, for them to lose. They'll try and take out. Anchor Smash will be there. Right clicks, not enough. Cancels arrow, not bound. Goji, after all that, able to TP out. Vanguard completed up. Eventually can transition that into an Abyssal Blade, and Milan hanging around bottom lane. Not sure why. They are going to jump forward with the Crush and the Magic Missile. Melon's in trouble. He'll be blown up. Milan has a Sakuchi away. Will dodge the arrow. Mitch needs to get out as well. Has a blink in just a second and will make it out to the south. Elements playing very well in this game as a unit. Keeping things chaotic, spread out, able to kind of pick apart Cole one by one, and you definitely don't want to fight full head-on into a Warlock and a Tidehunter, so that certainly is the name of the game if you're going to be skirmishing, to keep them chaotic and keep them spread.
Top tower is under attack. $100 gold onto Goji. Likely will be into a hammer here shortly, and with the Bugs, they'll look to make a pass at Roche. And damage is there as well. Crits are coming aplenty, and there's a lot of bloodlust, so they're bringing this down quickly. Complexity, they have an idea of it and a Ravage, but it's already done. Now a jump forward, Crush does connect on to Goji right into the fray on top of Moo. He will be popping the Ravage, but it only connects onto 2. They'll bring down the PA, but it's just the Aegis. Milan's going to continue to chase forward. They need vision here. They'll get the swap back onto Justin. It's a very important target, and they'll bring down the Drow Ranger south of Oliver. Now Siegfried, he's in trouble. He gets fire blasted up. Will get the Unstable Concoction off, but he's likely to die. Double kill for Swift Ending. Mitch finds himself a kill. Goji will get get a kill and then another on the Golem. When all is said and done, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
there is complexity blood splayed across the battleground here. You can jump forward, wait for the Kraken Shell proc. He's a little bit early, but nicely paid. Good patience from him overall, and they'll bring down Moo. Game is looking to be in dire straits for complexity. This is not the kind of confidence boost they expected coming into this game. They were able to secure themselves a spot. If they bring it down, and you know, I'd like to consider my Swindle's a friend of mine, and I was gonna say in lobby, good luck guys, because I know you can clinch here, but I decided not to, so as not to jinx them. Maybe I should have. 600 gold away from his Desolator is Goji on the PA. And he is having himself a game right now. I mean, they've got a quad core at this point. Weaver as farmed as he is. This is... I mean, there's a 13k gold lead 15 minutes in. 10k in the way of experience. Sure, you've got high ground defense, but then what?
Dire's top tower has fallen.
There's not even a Dragon Lance on Justin at the point 15 minutes into the game, and they've found Justin, speaking of which, and he's dead. Milan to pick up the last hit there. Mitch's 11-minute Blink Dagger, I mean, aside from all the flashy plays from the PA and the swaps from Swift Ending, how does he come up with an 11-minute Blink Dagger? Alright, Zefrig queuing up the unstable auction. He's gonna end up stunning himself, not under vision of the Radiant. Oh, they find Melons, he's dead. Instant TP out, coming out from the Tidehunter. They're gonna connect a long-range arrow onto the Weaver, but it's not really gonna matter all that much. Looking forward, has the makings of a Deso in base. And they're sending the courier out. No, send it back.
Double damage.
And they will pick that up alongside Mitch's Force Staff. So Slardar farmed as all hell. Weaver transitioning well. He's got a set of drums and an urn. You know, can just pick up like a Maelstrom or anything of the sort. Jump forward from Goji, right on top of Swindle's Wave of Terror. One more right click will do the job. Monster kill streak for Goji. Roche not going to be up for a little while. And meanwhile, TP's inbound mid lane. Mitch looking to find Zephyr, gets the amp damage off. Gonna look to dodge the concoction and then jump in for the stun. Acid spray obviously gonna keep him from blinking, but a couple more right clicks should do the job, and it will. Mitch dominating the rest of his foursome up in the top lane, already putting punishment into this tower, and Wiggles will respawn with Chaotic Offering. No Alchemist at this point, but now's as good a time to take a fight as Mitch is not nearby. Mitch will now join with his allies though. And LeBron, he's a little bit far forward. But for now, they'll back out and reset. Deso completed up onto Goji. He's hitting very hard. Could use a mana boot or two, and they do have a set. Swift Ending's got his Dragon Lance, so they've got everything they need, really, to make this push happen. Picks up a point booster. He is a support. Why not? Despite him, you know, with the ability to transition into a core, he's got fat enough cores that can afford to do this.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Doesn't really need to be a presence in terms of damage. And let the slow siege begin. I mean, they don't even have a blink on Moo. I don't really see how they take this fight. Jump forward. Speaking of blink on Moo.
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Goji looking to get a lucky crit.
Radiant's top tower.
But in the meantime, they take out the range racks.
Dire's bottom barracks is
Unstable Concoction will connect onto Goji, but there's no follow-up just yet. Now jump forward. Crush will miss onto Melons. Gush comes out, trying to slow down Mitch in the backline. So the Weaver, he's doing some work onto this Warlock.
Has a time lapse available. Will Sakuchi out towards the east and gets dusted up. Gusted up after dusted up. There's the unstable concoction. Koji takes one out on the south side. Ravage will finish off the Weaver and actually connects onto 3. They get a swap back onto Mu though. He can be in trouble. Kraken's proc will keep him safe. He'll get the mech off. Mitch will miss the crush. And Elements have overextended Goji. He's going to be forced out by his Slardar. Defending should be okay. He's got the Dragon Lance. Can turn with the match missile as well. Jump forward. Crush. He's going to catch Justin's Drow Ranger. Arrow will split the wickets once again. Goji will finish the Tide Hunter. And they will get the Drow Ranger as well. Big crit finishes off another. That's going to be Deep Freak Alchemist. Chaotic Offering will catch on to 2 up. People doing a lot of work as well. Force that for Mitch. Big crush off. But everyone's dying here from Element's side. They even taken the melee racks at this point. That's 3 heroes dead. Mitch should have a blink out and will. And the melee racks is still alive, guys. Braun, he's gonna get dropped. Triple kill for Melon. Pretty big swing. There's no melee racks even taken down yet. I mean, I'm not gonna say we made a game of it. It's not quite a game yet, but some kind of defense. Things start to dip. It's not quite 1,000 net worth lead generated per minute for Elements, and it's about 500 experience per minute generated by Elements Pro Gaming. So, a bit of overzealousness up on the high ground, a bit of hubris there, but it doesn't seem like the end goal of a win is really going to be unattainable at this point for the Radiant, or perhaps even attainable for the Dire. Wave of Terror used as Roche is 40 seconds or so away from spawn. Oh, it actually looks like a max spawn. Not sure who that really favors. I mean, it's not as if Complexity has much of the map to be farming in this time. Sucks a little bit for Elements that they can't just hop into Roche right now and go back to work, but doesn't feel like Complexity is going to get much in the time being. I mean, we've got Cancelled trying desperately to farm an Ags. He's only got an Ogre Club. Oh, he's got it. All right. 21 minutes in is super late out of the mid lane. We've seen like 8-minute Aghanims. Okay, not quite, but like, you know, 13 is like fairly standard. So not ideal. Jump forward. They are going to find Melon. It's a big hero to kill if they are able to. With the Hurricane Pike, couple ass right clicks, they're able to do so, and that's with Swift Ending's Hurricane Pike. Goji going to dive forward, gets a couple of right clicks off on the Z-Freak, some crits. It's just going to create enough space for melee racks to go down. And now over to the north, Mitch with a glancing blow, a little bit of a zoning and slithering crush. He's picking up the makings of a Lotus Orb here, so it seems. Gonna be nice against the gust of the Drow Ranger. See where Mitch is on his quest towards an Aghanims. He's about 1,100 gold away. He does almost have, he's about 1,100, well, only 600, but I was gonna say he's about 1,100 gold off the Mirana, so it makes sense. But yeah, Aghanims, not quite the firepower that he needs. Crimson Guard completed up on Goji at this point. He's got a Talisman of Evasion as well. Interesting. Not sure why you would spend 1,800 on that when you can just buy a BKB and end the game, but he should go. And here comes the desperation play. Moonlight Shadow dropped Melon's Dove to have his Chaotic Offering. Sees one hero. Probably didn't see Swift Ending there, and just not enough of an opening for Complexity to go for. They'll look to use High Ground as their potential to take a fight. Still no Blink Dagger on Mu. Roche now respawned. And Elements will see if they can find themselves a Tide in the bottom lane. Be forward looking at Roche, but we'll now look at Roche. They have an Ice Armor creep available as well, the Ogre. Arrow will fly through. Doesn't connect on anything, not even Roche. With the amp damage and all this damage coming out from Goji and the Desolator, I'll make quick work of this. It's a really nicely timed Chaotic Offering, but won't mean much. pivot there. Jump forward from Goji. Almost takes out Mook completely. Greaves are going to be popped off. The arrow will connect onto the PA. Milan not really in all that much trouble though. Goji continuing to jump forward will find the Warlock. Meanwhile, down to the south, Z-Freak taken out. Goji still looking to chase forward and will be able to blink onto Moo. Double kill going the way of Swift Ending as he'll bring down the Drow, but the Ravage and the Starfall, they will bring down Milan. Not that it's gonna matter much. Age is still in the hands of Goji. He's got another dagger and isn't able to get it off, in fact, but a jump forward crush, one more right click is gonna be found by Mitch, and Goji unfortunately won't be alive to witness his avenging. He will respawn shortly thereafter and take a look at this second lane of racks here. 25 minutes in complexity. They're going to buy back on cancel. They get Z-Freak respawning here. They have no Ravage and no Chaotic offering. And in terms of buybacks, there are none left for them. So cancel, see if he can make work of this. But right now, he's just making dead. Dagger, and that'll do it. 1 second on the pounce cooldown still, and GG is going to be called here as Elements will play Spoiler. And even with some BM at the end. From LeBron, of course, who is American himself. But either way, Elements going to take a game off of complexity. That's only their second loss thus far in the qualifiers. Their first loss came at the hands of MP, so not all that unexpected, but this one's certainly much more so. As complexity take a spill in this game, and I can't say that there's,
Radiant team ban.
Hello folks and welcome back. We've got game
Radiant team
2
ban.
for us, but technically just another best of 1. It's Team NP versus Friendship, Dedication and Love. I'm Lava Down Under. I'm joined by Gorgon the Wonder Cow. Call it right now. Who's winning?
Dire team.
So the reason
I'll go with Friendship, Dedication, Love because
Okay.
I feel like most people would call Team NP, and I'm a fan of the underdog.
So I think that they're definitely considered the underdog, but Friendship Dedication Love have had a lot of good games so far. They've only dropped one, similar to both NP and Complexity so far. And the big thing to me is that Friendship Dedication Love, even when they're losing the laning stage, they're making good comebacks.
Yeah, I mean, they have been very sufficient at making good, difficult game decisions, and that's not necessarily something that Team NP has become known for. Yeah, the NP, a very, very good team in terms of understanding the pace of the game, understanding where they need to be, technically executing the game. But I do feel like one of FDL's advantages over most teams in the region is their ability to react calmly to bad situations and work as a team.
Team pick.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the thing for me that's interesting here, the Nagas Iron Banner, of course, something NP's been having a lot of success with, but then they just go back to Ali's Sen, which she's also really good on, and we're going to see that Sand King pick up and then followed by the Bat Rider. So this one's interesting because it might actually be for Sand King.
Yeah, which we don't see all that often these days. Could also be a mid Bat Rider, which we also don't see all that often these days, but used to be the standard. Not really the standard anymore because it's difficult for the Bat Rider, or more difficult for the Bat Rider to utilize the jungle to maximize that mid lane, among a couple of other reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if teams try some new things here, although it does look like for NP they're just going for what works out for them and is solid. But for FDL, facing up against an opponent that is considered quite a bit stronger, it'd be nice to see them try something.
Yeah, something to keep in mind here is that I think the only team that is technically truly mathematically eliminated right now is Pro Dota Gaming, but whichever one of these teams wins is absolutely 100%, zero questions asked, guaranteed to move on. No other team so far has gotten a mathematical certainty move on without any tiebreakers. But whichever one of these teams gets that will just be kind of happy to move forward for the rest of the bracket. I do think, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the top two teams go into the upper bracket of the next stage, and the bottom two teams go into the lower bracket. Is that right?
That's how I thought it worked. We could be super wrong. But I think for me,
I'll check.
Yeah, excellent. I think the big thing here is these teams are actually, I'd say they're actually somewhat even, except for the fact that NP has been looking stronger.
Whichever team wins this match, it doesn't matter. They can do whatever the hell they want for the rest of this bracket, and they'll go in with the exact advantage. Maybe they get to pick it.
I have to imagine it's opponents.
Well, you still have to beat everybody at some point. Everybody except the one team, right? So picking opponents isn't as much of an advantage in this type of a bracket as it is in like the majors, because A, there's no third place to fourth place differentiation, and B, you're going to play everyone in the bracket except one team, even if you win.
So we see the Slaughter band out. We've been seeing quite a bit of both offlane and support Slaughter paired up with obviously the Lifestealer, who's popular, but also just Slaughter gets a lot of work done early. And yeah, we just talked about how getting rid of the Beastmaster, it looked like FDL were like, hey, we don't want to play into all of that attack speed along with alacrity, but Team NP just go with over, and we just saw how much work that combo can do.
Especially on somebody like a Sven, right? Sven's got that huge cleave area of effect, which is really devastating to deal with at that high attack speed, plus God Strength. Imagine how much damage the Anti-Mage was doing, and now add God Strength on top of that for about that. And that's about what Sven's going to be doing in a wider AoE at that stage in the game.
Yeah. Now, this silencer pickup is really interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be a core silencer. I don't see a big reason to pick it up yet. Obviously, silencer can be really strong at stopping that big team fight initiation, but when your opponents don't have a hero that's obviously the one who's starting the fight, it's kind of what's the silencer here for? You know, bosses, if you see them pick up Slaughter, I can understand the silencer because you want to make sure that when he blinks in, you immediately silence and the rest of the team doesn't follow through. So I'm really interested. Is this a core silencer? Is this a support silencer? What are they thinking of having it counter for FDL?
I'm honestly not 100% sure of what they're thinking is here for FDL. They are, so part of it could be that the through that silence period.
Like,
Yeah, silencer I think is going to be your mid, and Sand King is going to be support.
I mean, I understand the positioning.
Well,
for
that's
me,
not
the
100%
bigger
sure, because that could be a support silencer in a mid bat rider.
it
but I
can
think that's
be.
less
They
likely.
can. There's actually a lot of flexibility here for FDL, especially when you consider that it's North American Dota between these two teams, and so Omni is frequently played as an offlaner. We'll see here just in a second, but this troll really. Oh gosh, it's mid Omni. I didn't want to say it was going to be mid-Omni, because at first I was like, maybe you can do that, but it seems hard into Invoker since he does have a lot of right-click damage with the Forge Spirits, but 7+7 is their mid-player. Let's see if we get a trade here.
Yeah, that seems pretty difficult to execute. I do think the silencer would fare better in the mid than the Omni Knight. But if Omni Knight does well, which is hard to imagine, to be quite honest, but if he does do well into the Invoker, you're talking about a very, very devastating mid-game potential with Omni Knight over-leveled, able to slow everybody in an AoE effectively. The biggest problem with Troll as a fighting hero is that he does get kited at a lot. A lot. But the Omni Knight as a core would mitigate some of that. So let's see if he trades.
I did not see that my mic volume was low. Just fix that up right quick. So we will add a little bit. I actually don't know if you... I don't know how Dota TV... I'm just gonna add a little bit. Hopefully that helps. If it doesn't help, I'll just speak louder, you know? So this is... Yeah, this is really interesting. They're even commenting on it in-game. Spooky, hero mid. So they did end up swapping for the silencer. I think that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
But now they do have an issue on FDL of... You can have the Omni be your safe lane farming, protecting support, but you want to happen with Sand King, because he's not a fast jungler anymore due to the changes to the jungle. So how are you making sure you get those levels on Omni? Because as you mentioned, yeah, it'd be cool if he can do well in a place and get lots of levels and get ahead, but he's also pretty useless if he's behind.
Yeah, I mean, the heal is good, and into Sven, Ogre, Disruptor, Invoker and Tidehunter, Repel is a really good spell to have on your team. So all that said, I think probably the Sand King hangs out in lane or around lane somewhere. I'm not sure which lane. Probably bottom, but maybe mid. Until he hits level 3. And then does go into the jungle for level 4 and 5. And at that point in time, the Omni Knight is ready to roam around and start helping out other lanes, and the Sand King can swap in there probably around 3 or 4 minutes, try to get a kill. If they can get the kill, great. If they can't get the kill, at least they're rotating their experience gains pretty effectively. That seems pretty standard to me. The real problem that I see here, potentially, is that neither Omni Knight nor Sand King are really effective at rotating to help. And Silencer is a hero that wants to get as many kills as possible, obviously because he steals intelligence based on kills.
Yeah. My gosh. Sorry, I was just reading chat.
I'm enjoying myself. This is better than the game, to be honest.
I mean, this is something that I love. So technically, fun story. Obviously, the reason you guys don't see ult chat in a lot of other regions is there's actually rules about ult chatting. There's basically rules that are like, if you say something that another player could interpret as like you being rude, you can get a default win. But of course,
there ain't no
players,
such thing as too rude for America.
Yeah, so for the like American teams, it's just like, oh, whatever, we know each other. Like, we're gonna joke about things that are kind of like, oh, you just said that. But I mean, I don't think anything you just said that was like super rude or anything. But of course, the sister comment made me laugh, and you can definitely see if maybe different team comps or something, someone might not be so happy with that one. But let's get into it. Hopefully, we'll unpause someday soon. Yeah, I hope we see one of these super farm silencers who gets a bunch of lost hits and gets all those int stacks up. But it's scary. NP have a lineup that is very able to group and push, especially with the Tide threatening to ravage and just break up your team. So I think it's hard, especially since both teams, you know, FDL, the silence cooldown is pretty long, so if that's what they're using to deter one push, they won't have it for the next. And other than the Tide, the cooldowns in general across NP, not too long.
This is a case where that opening Sunstrike could have been really valuable, so that they know for sure. Oh, no, F747 swap back.
Go back.
You had said that he swapped.
He did. He was on the silencer, because when I was looking at the chat, it was like he was on silencer for a second. Maybe I'm crazy. Tell me this doesn't auto-update and everyone's just like...
if he swapped to all chat as silencer and then swapped back, that is so freaking next level.
I don't know if I thought I saw that. It could have also
been. No, it was Sand King on silencer. No.
So that's the thing. I think it either this changed or it was a bug. You know how there are actually bugs in the what it shows in chat. So I may have also just had a when I happened to look at it. But I swear I saw him swap onto the silencer, and I was like, oh gosh, guys, like just give us who's playing what so we can start crafting. Yeah, this matchup they're gonna need support rotations for FDL. Now, one upside for FDL, we've seen them do this time and time again. They're greater than the sum of their parts. They're very good at playing from behind and getting those smokes just right to get a bunch of kills. So
this almost seems like an aggressive tri-lane move, right, out of FDL, because you want to get those early kills onto the silencer, who apparently is not going mid. Or maybe even a dual mid lane, because, like, how does the Omni Knight stand up to a potential support rotation from the Ogre Magi? He just leaves the lane, right? The Omni Knight just has to leave, which he can do. He's not at risk of dying because he has Repel. He won't get stunned, but, like, the range and the damage on the Invoker is going to chew through the Omni Knight's mana pool, which he didn't get any mana regen.
Yeah, he did swap. Okay, I'm, like, looking at the playback. I am looking at the playback, and they definitely swapped and then swapped back. I'm good, I'm not insane. And in the chat, it updates.
Did he all chat as silencer?
He did all chat as silencer, and they said spooky mid-hero. Like, look at my stream, 5 minutes delay. I don't know if that was next level playing. I don't know if they've noticed yet on NP. Like, I'm sure they've noticed.
They noticed that. There's no way they don't notice that. Like, you look at every little piece of information you can get. That was really smart by FDL.
Okay then, so we will see. 747 does get himself a last hit. I don't know, I really want to focus on this mid lane because it's very interesting to me. I'm not sure these supports can get anything, but they have already come in here. They are smoked up and ready to go. They are going to be able to get the stun onto Envy. There should be a heal bomb, and they're getting first blood.
Alright, so it's going to be a triple mid, not a dual
It's tri-lane mid, it's fine. New meta.
Hey, it works if you can get the kills. The problem is, getting the kills after the first one tends to be a little difficult. But Envy is going to have to play pretty careful here now. Yeah, it is going to break down to a dual mid. I think this is...
What do you rotate in, though, if you were going to play, like, for NP, neither Ogre nor Disruptor does an amazing job here, since it's such tanky heroes in mid. So,
if
I
I'm
don't know what you rotate
NP,
in.
I rotate Thieben down bottom, and along with the Disruptor, and take an easy kill on Bisa. Right, this is how FDL was punished really heavily when we watched them yesterday as well, right? They left Bisa alone, which means that their farming carry is extremely vulnerable to dying, and he ended up dying several times, although he was getting a lot of kills while doing it. So yeah, if I'm MP, I quickly get to the point where the Sven can jungle while his lane equilibrium is bad. Push that top lane out so that you restrict vision. Have the Sven go to the jungle for 2 waves while there's a TP down bottom for my supports, and try to punish the carry for this dual lane mid.
So, on the downside for FDL, right, the Batrider's got nothing, not a lick of experience has been gained by him. He's being very effectively zoned, which is kind of impressive considering there wasn't even a ward there. But into an Ogre Magi Disruptor, not really something that you want to be a bat in. Oh my gosh, and 747 is actually still ahead in lost hit for Denias, so...
Well, Santine's here now, so... Well,
Silence is Invis here, too. They're gonna go for it under the tower. EE, he doesn't have mana to do anything. Can they get the stun? Sand King is close enough, and they will get another kill on Envy in mid.
Good old Michael Jordan triple coverage coming out here in the mid lane for NP. This is becoming increasingly problematic.
I am just so enjoying this, right? Like, this is obviously, it's not something that's going to be easy for people to transfer to pubs or whatever, but just sending these folks always down here, and it does really hurt Envy, right? He's already missing 4 int, and it's just one of those things where it's like, well, life gets harder for him.
Yeah. So, I do need to specify, one of the reasons this works is because while Omni Knight does well with levels, he's not that level dependent as a hero, as a core. In addition, the Silencer is more dependent on being near kills than anything else.
Yes.
He is a little bit farm dependent. Sand King is the only hero here is arguably pretty level dependent, and because of that, they can afford to give up a lot of experience out of this mid lane as long as they're holding Eternal Envy down. Now, the real question is, will this end up working out for them in the mid game when that Invoker catches up on the basis of a Midas and their heroes are still behind?
I also think it's advantageous because Bisa, even though he's giving quite a bit of farm, right, the Tide is getting stuff, you're kind of hoping that your Omni is good enough to deal with that. You'll have Repel going into these fights, and also it's not as if Troll is one of those heroes, since he can become ranged, that really suffers into Tide. There are a couple of heroes, melee carries predominantly, that if they have to solo a Tide, it's just all over, and it's not what Troll with that flexibility is not one of them.
Yeah. So, but, you know, the gamble that FDL are taking here is that Troll will get going, and that the Invoker will not have an opportunity. That their Omni Knight will be able to do a little bit more than the Invoker, not because he's so far ahead, but because they've shot the Invoker so far down. It is quite a gamble, especially with the Sven doing very well in his own lane, but it seems to be working so far.
They're thinking of going on Invoker again. They didn't actually have Repel. Okay.
Okay, let's take a moment.
That is just a Visa. The immediate disconnect gives you a DC. And luckily Visa wasn't in lane, because that could always be really fun. Yeah, let's do some basic maths here. So interestingly, despite the 2 deaths on Envy, because the supports have been around, they do have more health on Invoker. He's about to take 270 damage, and he has about 350 health. He's also taking, he's not actually taking silence damage.
He's going to take
from
Caustic Finale damage.
But there is no Fire Blast up on this Ogre Magi, so I do not believe that Thievin has any way of saving Envy. They may get a return kill on Sand King, though, who is taking Cold Snap and a lot of damage right
Where's
now.
the tower aggro sitting? It's hard to tell in the pause.
Oh,
I think it's on 747.
Yeah, it's on 747. So actually the Sand King may just be able to walk away from the 747. Yeah, they toggle off the tower aggro. And another kill, 6 int now stolen by this silencer, 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I fundamentally disagree with rotating the Ogre Magi in at this stage to try and help out Envy. It's just, there's not a lot you can do, right? We just saw how impotent he is in this lane. Sure, while Envy's dead, he can soak up some experience, but really he should leave, go get experience elsewhere, or try to help the Tidehunter kill the troll. Because there's just not a lot to do to help Envy. And if Envy's fall behind, maybe stack some camps for him or something, and then help tank while he clears them later on. Because, yeah, at this point, the Invoker's far enough behind that things are going to become worse and not better.
But what you pointed out earlier, right, you've got a super farm Sven, you've already got mana boost up on MSS here on the Tide. Those heroes will be ready to go, and even if Envy's not necessarily, as long as he can get some levels in there so that he has the spells, he might not be the damage, but you've got to hope Owie and MSS will kind of bring that for you.
Alright, he's got the glimpse available, but he can't get in range, a little bit too fast for the Troll Warlord, and there is no slow, so although I think that was the right call, MSS a little too eager on the Ravage, and now may be punished.
I did not catch that he had used the Ravage. MJW doesn't have anything to use here. He's not got high enough levels, so we will not see him go down, but it looks like Sand King coming around again, closing in on Envy. There's going to be the Purification Bomb. They have so many supports coming in, and with the Sunstrike will be off the mark, but it looks like Sand King will forfeit his life 4 in mid. Finally, a successful rotation to help out Invoker coming out of NT.
Smart of Owie to actually come in and help Envy, because the best kill opportunity apparently they're going to get is extensions to the mid lane. Getting those kills is going to be helpful for everyone. Now he can just kind of collapse into the jungle, allowing his supports to go around wherever they need to go. I do like that Sand King's been given this top lane, though, as the Bat Rider rotate away. FPL use every part of the map, right? They're like, nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, it's really, really nicely done here for NT, and I just have to say I'm impressed with the rotations in place so far, but we will have to see if they can out-carry Sven. So here's the thing, right? We're running a Troll Warlord into Sven. What do you even build on Troll Warlord these days, right? It's a little bit of an out-of-popularity hero. I could see Sanjin Yasha just being an easy pickup there, even something like the Monta.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, you might even go into something like Drum so that they push some towers early and try to ride this advantage as much as possible.
Someone better help
I'm really not entirely sure how you go about building the troll. It depends on what their overall strategy of execution is going to be. Alright, MSS. Gonna walk right into Silencer's smoke.
He should see this, like Silencer, yeah, he can see the creeps being taken, so Silencer knows. I just don't know if they have the damage to go on MSS, and they have to be careful because in about 15 seconds they will be contending with Ravage as well, but it looks like instead they see all of the stacks, they make it so they can't stack, there's going to be the D-Ward coming out, and yeah, that'll be that. This is really good for NP, right? They protected their stack, they're going to be able to get the D-Ward as well, the ward to try and find out when they're taking it. So they should probably get this no contest.
So, it's important to remember that though FPL are doing really well with this strategy, appearances of the game state right now are not necessarily reflective of where the game state would be. The Invoker is still going to get a Midas sub 13 minutes more than likely, which is late but not game over late. The Sven has been getting a lot of fun, and the Troll is way behind him. Not only that, Sven handled late much better in terms of just overall.
Well, they're going on to Tidehunter. He does have Ravage here, but with so many heroes around, he may just opt against using it. Gets that Kraken Shell proc. He is taking a lot of damage still, though. The Kraken Shell doesn't keep him from all of his Ravages. He does use the Ravage on the tower and will actually get the kill there. Oh, that right is going down.
really good play for MSS, and it's got us really seeing for FTL. Not only did it look like they should have gotten that kill, but that shorts them to intelligence on the silencer, and Batrider, who does not have a blink unless it's on the curt yet, does not have any sort of items up yet, really can't afford to be dying with unreliable gold.
It's definitely rough. They are sending Omni top. He's body blocking it. He has to know that there is somebody here. That he's gonna throw out a heal bomb, and Batrider is here to help out. And it will not be a thing. And now M3 usually gets involved in the kill and is trying to just stack. So it's something.
Yeah,
top tower is under attack.
I'm not. If I am NP, the name of the game is just remain tough. Things are going bad for NB, but they're going pretty well around the map, all things considered. Wow.
Stan King. Stan King. Stan
the
King.
stormiest of hammers.
Yeah.
Just narrowly missing its mark.
Really freaking nice. So, Ali though, as we talked about, he is top of the net chart, the net worth chart. He is doing good work here, despite his team having maybe a little bit of a hard time. He is just fine, personally. And they can siege with this. They don't have Ravage, and they might wait another 60 seconds before they decide to push anything. But with God's Strength, as you mentioned, God's Strength, Bloodlust, those towers fall. And actually, really interestingly, Steven has decided to put 3 points in Ignite. We've been seeing a lot of people opt for just immediately maxing Bloodlust after maybe 2 points in Ignite.
I don't think NP are, we're disruptors.
He was fine. I think, unfortunately, there for 747, the timing was difficult. He put the repel on to stop the glimpse, and then he couldn't use the purification.
Yeah, so the way that this ends up working out is if you go for a Bloodlust early, basically you need to be using that to enhance right clicks, chase, and tower damage. And NP are not going to win this game on the basis of their early game tower advantage. They're going to win this game if they do win on the basis of turning around in the mid game and showing FDL that the laning decisions that they made gives them a best buy date, right? So for NP, building into trying to deter combat is going to open up more space for their cores to farm, whereas building in to try and actually force combat, force towers with the Bloodlust build works kind of against what they should want to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Something I do also want to mention is, obviously Troll, we may have an engagement. There's no time ready for Omni. Oh no, won't be able to get it off. Global Silence though, Omni will just repel TP. I do not believe that they have the damage. So nice first usage of Silence coming out there.
Yeah, this is a really nice play by Santine. However, they will probably have to give up this top tower.
They might be able to trade.
Yeah, they could very well trade, especially since the Bloodlust has worn off this tower now.
So what I wanted to ask, I often when we do see something like Troll, there was a time where people were running the Troll with the sniper because that was cute.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot onto this Batrider, and they won't even
they
get
just
it.
denied the tower as well. Oh my goodness, sorry. We have a bunch going everywhere. Apparently Silencer has killed the drop there. Owie working to kill off Omni Knight and manages to get it. Omni not throwing out that repeller heal soon enough. So we just had a bunch of stuff happen. First of all, Omni denied the top tower for folks catching up. It looks like Disruptor went down. I mean, you said they were trying to actually kill off Batrider?
They got really close to killing Bat. So they threw the cold snap on him and glimpsed him back, but the kinetic field didn't land. And then the silence got dropped by the Disruptor, who went a little too far forward in order to cast that, and that's how he ended up dying. So the static storm went down over the Batrider, but he did have his Firefly going already and was just able to fly out of range. He almost died, but managed to get away. Owie picking up that kill on the Omni Knight is really the story there, though. And I was a little bit off on the Invoker Midas timing. He got it at 13:50 instead of 13 minutes, like I had previously anticipated, partially because he did die again after I said that.
It's late, but it's not honestly the worst thing in the world with the way that NP frequently play. They're very diligent about making sure that there are stacks for people, and they will be able to make space for NB. This isn't the first game in the best of ones. Oh, we are just killing SVG. Holy cow. Shadowblade is 747, just chasing people down. You talked about this slow, maxed up degen aura, and MSS can't move. Mojo, run away. He's got support coming in, but luckily 747 does no damage thanks to Anchor Smash. But
this is one of my earliest memories of Dota. Is the core Omni Knight max degen aura, just like chasing you all the way across the map and slowly killing you. Literally, Dota 1. When I started playing Dota 1, that was the bee's knees. People love that shit.
You're old.
I feel.
You're old.
Yeah.
You should go get your knees looked at and all that shit. No, but yeah, I obviously it's an oldie but a goodie, but it's also just something where we saw how quickly Omni, a hero that we generally think of as someone who keeps your team alive in the fights, Omni able to just immediately pick up a support and also going to force these supports to start getting detection, right? That's frustrating. They go for a stun in on Tidehunter. The Epicenter as well, they want to make sure it's not solved to buy that Ravage. Mech comes out of MSS. Do they have the damage? Silence are looking for Mech attack. It takes so long to kill another nice Ravage. There's the Static Storm. Some strikes, they get one. Static King, where was the Q? He got it off and it didn't even matter. And now the rest of the team is here for NP. Batrider trying to slow them desperately with Sticky Napalm, but he gets multi-tossed up. And this is a dead Batman. Holy cow, MSS is a tanky beast. And this is the trade-off, right? Okay, we just Shadowblade.
Amazing restraint out of him too. So the very, very first kill attempt with that Ravage was way too early. But everything else that I've seen this type of game has been just perfect. It absolutely could not be better. Very impressive. Echo Saber now done.
Oh, we're motoring. We're getting more in the mid lane. You were saying Echo Saber is done on Alley? Yeah.
Yeah, and so, they want to kill off Tinky.
Yeah,
They will be.
good side silencer. 747's like, bro, your support. It's not happening.
Yeah, so for Owie, this game is going pretty well, right? He's farming at a good clip, does have the top net worth in the game, and it goes, with the exception of maybe you qualify Silencer as somebody who scales infinitely, and so technically if the game goes super, super, super late, he continues to scale and other heroes don't. In all likely scenarios, the Sven is the best late game hero here in this game. So, with that in mind, like, if FDL aren't able to really cinch the game in the mid-game, the longer this goes, the happier Owie is in most scenarios. Like,
now, there's one downside, right? And that is the Guardian Angel. We haven't discussed this. NP doesn't have an obvious, easy diffusal carrier, and we actually maybe have 747. He's going to be seen here. He does manage to get the break off. He is smacking away at an Ogre Magi. This is actually ridiculous. I'm sorry.
oh, this is just like when I played Dota 1. This is amazing. This is making me
when
really
you played
happy.
Dota, it was stupid. It's this is so ridiculous.
This is amazing. There's nothing you can do about that, too. When he catches you, unless your team's there to help you, like, you'll just die. It'll take a while, but you'll just die.
Well, what I wanted to say was, Guardian Angel, we don't have an obvious diffusal carrier. Do you just suck it up as the Sven and go for one?
Yeah, maybe. It's not like you can't use that attack speed and armor, right? I guess. You might even have... the real question is, do they absolutely need one, right? Because I don't know... Yeah, you can tell probably that I'm pretty torn on this. Eternal Envy going into the Rosh Pit alone, that's never gone poorly before.
Yo, I've never ever seen this be problematic. Keep up Savage there with him. Don't you bring back bad memories. Come on. Come on.
No, they should be able to clear this out too much issue.
It's not as bad as the last time it happened, right? Last time Envy was trying to solo it and there were enemies around, and it is not getting pinged by the Radiant. That's just Envy pinging Rosh. He's just like, guys, just in case some shit goes down, like, can you be nearby?
Yeah. He'll have more spirits in a second, too. Oh, he gets stunned. There's support spirits. Okay, he'll be fine with this.
It's not enough, but he's fine. So NV gonna go solo Roche. We've seen this movie before, as you mentioned. We haven't checked in, but it's going to be the Shadow Blade Patrol. He picked that up maybe 2-3 minutes ago. It's interesting to see both of them having the Shadow Blades, and actually the Silver Edge was finished on 7+7 before the Ogre kill. It's just really interesting because it's not something we're super used to, and Aoi will just blink PP.
So the real issue here is that, yes, FDL have that repel, but I don't know that that's really that big of a deal in the late game if the Sven is not getting kited anyway, right? Because he just does so much damage. Right-click damage, they don't necessarily need the control on any individual hero, and moreover, probably the most important hero to repel later on is going to end up being this Troll. And Troll has to be up and in your face in order to do damage to you. It's not like you can be surreptitious about it. So he'll still have to be taking the brunt of what Sven has. I don't know that the refusal is the most important pickup here for NP. I think probably a standard or more standard build on the Sven is probably higher on their priorities.
Also, if he kills off the Omni before Omni can get the Guardian Angel, Omni not having a blink, while Shadow Silver's Edge is good for positioning, it's like you need to be right in the midst of your team to get off that nice GA, and Hyde may ravage all of y'all if you're grouped up together. So
right.
It's just really hard to say how these team fights might go down before they do.
Right. It's really... You can get around a good Guardian Angel by just dodging through the fight well, right? A good positioning will undo all the problems of a Guardian Angel, especially since you have a kinetic field. You can literally not even spend an ultimate and block everybody in a Guardian Angel away from your team.
They're gonna see the Ogre Magic. So many sentries everywhere. Aoi trying to open on 7+7, but unable to, and there's the silence. They need to do something here. Hit someone with that break. Move on. Envy isn't able to get the heal off, and the epicenter not doing nearly enough. And it's looking like the overwhelming damage from NP is just gonna bring him down. MPW pulled back and killed.
Yeah, this is actually looking really, really bad for FTL. For the reason that I said earlier, the current game state is not necessarily predicted of later game states, which essentially means you need to be able to make advantage last long enough to win the game. It's not enough to take advantage early in the game. For FTL, to stretch that advantage, they had to get enough of a gold lead out of towers that they could hold down Eternal Envy's they could hold him down long enough to actually break the base, and that doesn't appear to be happening here, and I don't know that FTL have a catch-up plan if do fall behind. The fact that there's still a tier 1 tower available is a really bad sign for FTL.
There are now 2 Silver Edges on FTL. They are all about the solo kickoffs from the looks of things. You can see that the net worth is trending in favor of NP along with the experience, but is there some way, split push game, using these Silver Edges to get solo pickoffs that you think FPL can get back into this one?
I mean, I think if they win some fights, they can win this one. NB's gonna just go down here.
Oh gosh,
sure.
okay, I'm just like...
there too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did not. I was looking at elsewhere on the map, thinking about stuff. We're just gonna tutorials it all over the place. They're not gonna be able to catch out Aoi. But I do like FDL, right? They got 2 kills in their window. There's no Ravage for 55 seconds, and they're making shit happen.
2 kills and an Aegis. Like, there's no reason for MB to be far up, to be quite honest. But
speaking of being far up, no, they're not gonna be able to catch Tide.
Okay, so they do realize very clearly that there is a best buy date on this strategy, that they need to be knocking down towers. 747 just going to tank the tower and try to get down that much faster. But with a Force Staff now on the Tide Hunter...
Still a little bit of time before his Ravage. They can definitely, on NP, defend the tier 2 if that push comes, but I'm not sure if FDL overstayed their welcome. And you can see a couple of their heroes, with Omni backing out, I don't think they want to push.
Yeah. For NP, it's not great that they've lost control of the outer tier, but still have control of that inner ring of the jungle. They still, presumably if they initiate well with the Ravage and the Disruptors combo, should still be in a position where they're able to move into team fights pretty effectively. They're certainly... I don't think NP are sweating, right? I think that as long as they don't overhype themselves, as long as they kind of play smart, they should be in a pretty good spot.
I also do think that there's some hope for FDL, right? If they, okay, I'm just talking now, who's wary of that bounty, but for FDL, if they can play around this Ravage like we just saw, they've certainly got the abilities to push once they're there. The other thing I'd be worried about though is nobody's making BKBs. Like, Repel only goes on one person. You need a BKB elsewhere on your team for FDL. Playing into using the global silence to kind of cover you into not needing BKB really doesn't work. See last fight.
Yeah. So I really think a good global silence is the key to winning this game for FDL. Like, if they are able to move into these fights, to take good global silences, get rid of the Tidehunter before he's able to Ravage, then in a lot of cases, that is a fight-winning.
Oh my gosh, half the team is in one spot, MDW, and now they're going to pull back Ogre Magi. That's what they want to get for their gank, but they'll pull off one. He said global silence comes out, and unfortunately nobody on FDL is close enough to do anything. So suddenly the ball is in NP's court, and they can make shit happen if they want to.
A good global silence is probably the key to winning this game, and that was not it. But they'll have plenty of other opportunities to nail it.
That's also very okay. We're gonna see 747 go down, easy peasy, and yeah, even though he has a spell, it does feel like into this lineup you need a BKB on those cores.
Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
So NP are still, I think, in a very favorable position here. FDL certainly can turn this into their favor. It's more in NP's favor.
NP's
than
like trying to pick off Silencer, but he gets silenced after he throws out an Invoke, so a little bit of a questionable play there.
Silencer is really difficult to play into if you're an Invoker, because especially if you go into an Axe build, which unfortunately NB hasn't rushed that out. Right, he just slows your roll so effectively.
Yeah. Well, for NP, they're going to push this. It looks like FDL looking for that trade up in top. They'll clear it at about the same time, kind of funnily, just because of Pro Warlord. So, but the push is still coming. Oh gosh, they're actually trying to trade.
They're at least trying to force TPs back, because they can do a lot more damage to this tower while FDL are TPing back than FDL could do.
Yeah, I don't think FDL has to fight here.
Yeah. Well, once they show that everybody's here, probably MP just back. Yep, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And looks like you called that one.
Well, you know, just forcing FDL off of your side of the map means that you can move back onto your side of the map in case Roshan is up. You can take control of their opponent's jungle. You can take better smothering position, and you can maybe lie and wait for somebody to now come out of the base overconfident.
Yeah, they're really looking for that, but unfortunately they killed off a sentry, and so folks now know that on FDL now know they were in the jungle, and I can't see FDL wanting to pop their heads out here right now. Oh gosh, just as I say it. They are coming out. They have the Shadow Blade authority. That's a gem. This guy has a gem. Visa getting the stun locking. Can they actually bring down the Tidehunter? They do. But now Envy is there with that BKB just ripping right through Visa. MW gonna pull as well. Epicenter. BKB still going on Maui. They try to save him, but Invoker comes in with the magical damage. And it started so nicely for FTL, but they're unable to finish it. This will be a team wipe. Maybe Savage will go down. Yes, he will, but not the Ogre. And oh, they have to buy back.
NP will take option number 3, lie in wait for FDL to come out overconfident. Very well executed by NP, especially considering Roshan is near a max Roshan timer. Anyway, one buyback is not going to be enough. Try again.
They have all 4, but I don't know that they can save this rack with more. So they just aren't going to use them. You know, let the racks go down, and then know that your other lanes are covered by tier 2s.
And this is a really rough spot because they don't really have any way to deal with supers. Sand King kind of handles it, but not really that effectively. But wait, does Sand King build an axe? He looks like he's going to. Once Sand King gets the axe, then one lane of supers is not the end of the world. But Troll really doesn't handle that very well, and neither does Omni Knight as a carry. So
also, just Troll, it does feel like the hero could have been replaced with a lot of different things in this draft, and it would have been more successful for FDL.
Yeah, one of the issues I think that FDL ran into in terms of their theory and execution on this particular game is that they traded off a lot of advantage a lot of later advantage out of the mid lane by picking a less effective mid-core hero in order to try and shut down NP. They tried to restrict that turnout from the Invoker. In order for that to be really successful, you still need your side lane carry to scale into that mid game effectively so that you can maximize that advantage. And the Troll really just doesn't scale in at the same pace that a Sven does if Sven is given uncontested farm, which is exactly what they had to do in order to execute their mid lane strategy. So for FDL, it really came down to a windowing strategic error rather than an execution error. I think they executed their strategy really well. I just think that it's a very difficult strategy to actually make work past the 15-minute mark or so.
Super true. Now, next, Roach being worked on already by Owie. So, gonna get himself that. They might put on Envy again, I'm not super sure. But could be so that Owie can just siege more easily. And those tier 2s anyway, and top goes to 4 easily to Envy. Oh, Tidonda actually.
Huh. Okay. Alright.
I think just allowing him to be super aggressive, right?
He has been the target of a lot of score coming out of FPL, and it's not like Ben is going to have a lot of D slots, right? He could drop his ultimate orb, but presumably he plans on upgrading that very soon. In fact, it did just upgrade into a Lincoln, so he is 6-slotted.
So I feel like another really big problem they've had here for FDL is 747's lack of item progression. Yes, he did have to buy back there, but he has 3k gold. We haven't seen a new item on him in ages other than the Silver Edge. You want your Omni to have more, just straight up, he's your mid laner. He should have more than one major item completed at 30 minutes.
To be entirely honest, an Omni Knight doesn't exactly scale with items like most mid laners. It's one of the reasons you don't see him as a core very often. In order for him to really be effective, he would have to have 130 or 140% the farm of his opponent mid laner, and because of that Midas that we had mentioned coming out earlier, yes, Eternal Envy has caught back up. And honestly, you would need 2 more full items on the Omni Knight to really be utilizing him. Granted, he is going for a Radiance to try and create the mischance on the Sven, but that is a pretty long shot strategy. Like, this is a very trolly build from 747, but to be fair, it's a very trolly strategy, so it's not like it's something that should catch us off guard.
Yeah, it's
definitely going to be interesting if they can get it in time before the next push, because I'm not sure that they can farm that Radiance before the next push comes in.
Yeah, so Troll will be able to shoot through this tower. That's nice. At least they'll take a trade. But you're right, their Radiance is not going to come in before this fight, and they're going to need a perfect initiation in order to make this fight work, especially since they cannot stop the Ravage from coming out. Unless they kill the Tidehunter without using Global Silence, and silence him before he can Ravage on his way back up from the Aegis.
Also, they deny the tower. Unfortunately, the Firefly is on cooldown because they were trying to get a grab on the left side and just weren't able to. They do throw the Repel onto Thesis so that he can just take out these creep waves. Repel's about to be down in a second, so they do need to be careful on FDL. And
Radiant's top barracks.
yeah, they see that ward as well, and both are just going to have his Scourge Spirits take it out.
Alright. Yeah, they'll just continue to chip away at these bears until they're trying to force FPL to make a move here, to use either the Global Silence or the Lasso or both. And FPL are simply not willing to waste something like that because they know they'll lose the fight.
Oh, but then jumping in, just gonna rip apart 747. He doesn't have buyback. He was the one who bought back in the earlier engagement. Invoker now throwing out the Tornado Ravage hitting on their teammates, and this may just be a GG is called by Stan King, and NT racks themselves up another win in this qualifier.
Yeah, very, very nicely played by NT. Granted, it was a rough mid lane there, right? But we've gone over and over and over the reasons why that ended up making the game a little bit easier to play for NP, as long as they kept their heads cool. That's the sort of strategy you run against a team that you expect panic. And out of all the teams in the Americas qualifier, NP is probably the least likely to panic because they're the most experienced players at the highest level of play.